Hi and welcome to episode 36 of the Load Down podcast. We've nearly made it. We're setting off to Download Festival. So join us for the next few hours as we keep you company on your journey to Download.
This is the Load Down podcast.
Hello, buddy.
Good evening, or good morning to a lot of people.
Good morning. If you downloaded this and you've got it plugged in, ready for your journey to download, thanks for downloading, and I hope you have a very safe trip to download. So we are releasing this Tuesday morning, so a lot of people will drive to download on the Tuesday, usually stay over, get ready to join that queue, and then we'll be there first thing. A lot of people queue up, get the beers cracked at the absolute crack of dawn. So my hat's off to you guys.
Yeah, fair play, bloody hell. Nearly a full week, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of the great traditions many people have. We've only managed to do it once, haven't we?
Yeah.
Actually join the queue on opening day, but we usually set off on the Thursday, so we'll be a little bit later than you guys. But if you've downloaded this ready to go, if you're listening Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or Friday, thanks very much. We're going to first of all go across the things not to forget.
Yeah, before you get too far from your house.
Yeah, before you've plugged in your seatbelt, have a quick listen to this, because these are the things that trip me and Johnny up loads. Yeah. So first of all,
ticket.
Get your bloody ticket. Make sure you got it on your phone. Make sure you've got it downloaded into your Google Wallet.
Yeah.
Download of obviously this year said get it in their app as well. I would recommend ignoring that completely.
I wouldn't trust that.
No.
With the state of all the apps been in the recent weeks.
The app, the download app is not the best, is it?
It's not.
So tried and tested is the Google Wallet, Apple Wallet. Get it in there, because then you don't have to worry about finding signal when you get onto the site.
It almost makes me miss physical tickets, because at least you can look at it and go, I've got it.
Yeah.
It's in my hand. I'm putting it in my bag. A bit like your passport, isn't it, when you're on holiday and you're going, that's staying there.
Yeah.
And then you set off, and an hour later you go, oh shit, I'll stop off at the services and just double check my tickets in there.
You check it.
Yeah.
And we went to see Orlando Magic basketball, and my phone totally crapped out on the day, and I had to factory reset it. Log into my Ticketmaster again. I was getting codes sent and phone calls.
It's stressful, isn't it?
Absolutely stressed to hell. So enjoy being stressed at the hands of me and Johnny. Make sure you've got your ticket. And I think a big one this year is make sure you've got that car hanger.
Yeah.
If you're parking up. Yeah. And obviously, your big green coach ticket, your train tickets. I just remembered something, actually. When I went to Sonosphere the first time, 2009.
Yeah.
My dad dropped us off at the train station, and in the back of my wallet, because I'd been through uni and all that, I had an absolute wedge of train tickets. So I thought, I'm just going to get rid of that wedge. Stuck them on the thing on my dad's in my dad's car. Went and got on the train, and I had my tickets.
Yeah.
And the train's just about to pull up. My dad sprinting down the train station. His face absolutely bright red. He's like, "You've forgotten your tickets." The conductor got this wedge of tickets. I was like, "These are all 5 or 6 years old."
Jeez.
But thanks, Dad. He's a
heart was in the right place.
It was, yeah. But that just shows his level of trust in me, because I've left hotel rooms without tickets so many times. But make sure you've got that. Make sure you've got your phone, your wallet. We've said it in the past. If you've got your ticket, your wallet, and you'll be fine.
I mean, that's enough, isn't it?
Yeah,
exactly.
That's all you need. Medicines is cut, of course.
Absolutely.
That's the other one. That's definitely one for me, actually.
Get that on
I might actually
list.
write it down.
That's a good shout, that, because you'll forget your test kit, you'll forget.
Yeah, I've got type 1 diabetes, if people don't know. So I end up with a big bloody hold all full of spare insulins and spare test kits, spare glucose sensors and all that sort of shit. So
I also remember your ID. Not particularly to get in, because I don't think you need it with your ticket.
You do at RIP.
In RIP you will do.
Yeah.
But the last thing you want is going for a beer and then IDing you, even though you might have a full beard and tattooed up to the eyeballs. You never know, do you? So you'd be gutted to have to.
Yeah,
be
I
on
think you
top.
can still get, if you take your ID, you can still get a wristband, can't you?
Oh,
Once
can
you've
you?
been ID checked, I think.
Okay.
I'll have to confirm that somewhere,
Yeah,
but
yeah. They do
yeah.
that at quite a lot of festivals, don't
Yeah, so you don't have to be carrying a driving license or passport around all weekend. But yeah, don't forget to take some ID if you look younger than 25, which we
they?
definitely
We
don't.
definitely don't. Bloody hell. Can't remember the last time I was ID'd, actually.
No, I can't. Yeah, I can't either. Oh, I know what it was for. A pack of Imodium. Which, yeah, something else not to forget. Don't forget your
Yeah, don't
Imodiums.
forget that.
Yeah. I'm well into my 30s.
Yeah.
I got ID'd for some Imodium.
I think mine was some like cooking knives.
Ah, right, yeah.
From Dunelm or whatever it was.
I got ID'd for some teaspoons in Tesco once.
Did you?
Yeah.
Sharp ones.
No, just spoons.
Just spoons.
They said it's bloody doing this all the time since they've made them ID you for
Yeah, okay.
knives. They've
Yeah.
just applied it to all cutlery. So
everything.
yeah. So yeah, make sure you remember your tickets. Make sure everything you need for safety. Do the old bloody tyre checks and all that. We've seen people broken down within about 100 yards of download before, haven't we?
Yeah, painful, isn't it? To
Oh,
watch.
I felt gutted for them. That was in 2023, and the traffic was so bad, and people had just broken down. So yeah,
Well, that's probably a good one, actually. Bit of dad advice.
dad advice. Yeah,
Get some water in your car. Get some oil in it. Do all your checks. Get some petrol in it.
Travel Johns.
Yeah, that's a good show.
Travel Johns.
Yeah.
Those like portable urinals, and Aldi have got them for $1.99 for a pack of 3 at the
All
minute.
right.
And sorry, Neil, I'm going to have to shout you out on this one because in 2023, Neil got stuck in the traffic and needed a piss, and God, he rang us in an absolute state of panic, didn't
Didn't
he?
know what to do.
So yeah, if you got something like that in your car, then you stress over.
Yeah, you never know what traffic you're going to be up against. It's been quite smooth the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Touch wood.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, make sure you're safe, your car's safe, you got everything you need there.
Yeah.
Anything else? I mean,
Get your
goes
mates.
without saying, your tents and your sleeping bags, and probably your tent is pretty important. But sleeping bags and stuff isn't the end of the world because you can get them there.
No. Most things, like you say, you can buy again, but
Yeah.
absolutely your tickets and your own safety and your friends, and make sure you got your breakdown cover and all that sort of shit there as well.
Yeah.
Like, this is just right. We're gonna have to move on quick because we're just gonna stress ourselves out here.
I know. I'm writing these down myself.
So yeah. However you're getting there, if you're sat on a train listening to this, if you're in your car, Big Green Coach, National Express, obviously go there as well.
Yeah.
Then yeah, fair play to you. We've done all of those things, haven't we?
God, how we did it on a train. That was...
No, it's hard work,
hell of it.
lugging all that stuff. I mean, the trains are shite and packed at the best of times. We
Yeah.
try to do it with a big rucksack, a crate of beer.
Yeah. Big Green Coach seems popular this year. I've seen a lot of people getting the one from Manchester.
Yeah,
That's probably...
That's the
closest,
last
isn't it, I
time.
think?
Our last time we did it, we got it from Lancaster, but they don't go from there
No,
anymore,
they
which is
don't.
a shame
No.
because that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I just remember that this is just me reminiscing about different times we've got there. Remember when we got to Sonosphere on the Big Green Coach and we went to join the queue to get in, and that guy was flat out.
Oh, yeah.
He was passed out on the floor with a can in his hand before the ticket check.
Didn't even make it through.
Didn't even make it into the festival
Yeah,
grounds. That
yeah,
is
I
an
remember
effort. That. So whoever you are, absolutely fair play.
It's a good laugh on the Big Green Coach, actually. Everyone's buzzing and crack a beer and
Yeah,
have a good laugh.
yeah. But hopefully you get a decent enough driver. You can get some that are twats, can't you? But,
Yeah.
we've had some belters in the past that have, they put the tunes on, let you crack a beer, handed us bin bags and whatnot.
Oh,
and
my
they-
favourite one was for my stag do when we rented our own coach, because must have been over 20 of us. Was
Yeah.
there? I went rented this big coach and we were a bit apprehensive. What kind of driver are we going to get? And as soon as we got on, he was like, "Right, lads, I've put some black bin bags on the back. Bring
Yeah.
your crates on. If you need to stop, we'll stop." And here's the aux lead. And then we just ramped up the music. It was like a bloody nightclub all the way there, wasn't it?
That was. We said when we were pulling into Donington, if he'd said we've got to turn around now and go back to Barrow, we'd have had a brilliant time.
Been a great start.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant.
It was fantastic, that. But we have some kind of important things to share with you. You might have seen on the reel that I shared this week that there are some excellent people, some bloody tougher people than I, Johnny.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And they are cycling to Download Festival from London. So you may have seen these at Download before. They've been doing it since, I think, 2013, which was for Iron Maiden's Made in England tour when that rocked up.
First year there.
It was, yeah. And there's my camera turning off. We're not even recording on the camera tonight. So yeah, the people that have sent us this are the founding people from Heavy Metal Truants, which it was absolutely amazing, because I actually sent the email thinking maybe if just anybody that was on the trip.
Yeah, it was a real nice.
Yeah, and it was sent by the co-founder Alexander Milas, and he is he's currently the editor of the Iron Maiden Fan Club magazine.
Yeah.
For 10 years, around 10 years, he was the editor of Metal Hammer magazine. He's written for Kerrang. He was formerly an archaeologist as well. Yeah, I was reading a bit of a bio on him the other day, and yeah, a really, really cool guy. And they've raised about just over 1.5 million. I think it's near the 1.6 million pound mark for 4 different children's charities. That was Nordoff Robbins, Childline, Save the Children, and the Teenage Cancer Trust.
Yeah, okay.
And that is incredible. And like this, they say in the voice recording that Alexander sent to us, they're all self-funded. They've had some, top bands join them for the ride and also donate things. So, should we hand over to Alexander?
Yeah, have a listen to this. It's absolutely brilliant.
It's really good. And
I got goosebumps when it came through, and immediately opened up on my emails, listened to it in my car. I thought, wow, absolutely amazing.
It's really inspiring. And we did see them rock up at Download last year. Obviously just finished a 180-mile bike ride to Download. There's us moaning about just doing a mile and a half to the tent. But exactly. It's fantastic stuff. Please listen, please donate if you can. Raise money for these great children's charities. So thanks very much.
This is the Lowdown Podcast.
Hello, everyone, at the Lowdown Podcast. It's a genuine pleasure to be invited along to say a few words about Heavy Metal Truants. My name is Alexander Milas. I'm one of the co-founders of Heavy Metal Truants. The other one is a man named Rod Smallwood. You might not know the name, but you may know the band that he has managed for over 50 years, a little beat combo called Iron Maiden. I got to know Rod way back in the day because I used to write for Kerrang, and also I was the editor of a magazine called Metal Hammer for about 10 years. And it was over the course of that time that, I got to know Rod pretty well. And so he invited me along on one of his infamous charity rides called the Truants. This one was in the northern wastes of Morocco outside of Marrakesh, which was quite an adventure. And it was over the span of about 3 days in desert heat that we had some beers, because we all know that beer hydrates really well, especially when you're out in deserts. We came up with a little idea, possibly while hallucinating, for the Heavy Metal Truants as well. And the conversation literally began with, so how you get up to Download Festival? The rest was history. And here we are, nearly 12, 13 years later, about to cycle up to Download Festival from London. It's about 160 to 180 miles, depending on the route. The bigger number, the more important one, of course, is the money which we have raised, which is over 1.5 million pounds for 4 kids' charities. Now, there's a lot of charity stuff out there, but one of the things I think we can all agree on as metalheads and as human beings is that kids are the future and they matter. And so the 4 charities that we support are Nordoff and Robbins Music Therapy, Teenage Cancer Trust, Childline, and Save the Children more recently. And all of our proceeds go toward them. Our writers are self-supported, and it's a magnificent cause and activity as well. And it gets you kind of fit as well, which is no bad thing. It's not to say that's the only thing that we do year round. We also do things like Heavy Metal Curries, and Monster Rock Auction, which I think is so enjoyable because it really is proof positive of what a real community the heavy metal world is. Not just the people who are bidding on items, but the people who donate them as well. We get Metallica involved, we get Kiss involved, you name it. If they play Download Festival, they have probably given us an item or three over the years. And it's not just items. Frequently, it's writers as well. We've had bands and members of industry join us from over the years. Nick and Aaron from Paradise Lost. Bruce Dickinson, of course, joined us virtually one year. Ben from Orange Goblin. Harry from Pendulum. Andy Steep from Judas Priest. Paolo from Trivium. The list goes on and on. The truth is, it's all about community, because once you get on a bike, you really are just an equal to everyone else, and that's what makes it so cool and so enjoyable. So if you want to participate in Heavy Metal Truants, it's probably too late to join our physical ride to Download this year, but you can certainly join our virtual challenge. And the way to do that is to go to heavymetaltruants.com. And if you're feeling generous, you can donate to the cause as well. Remember, we pay for ourselves, so your money goes right to charities where it is needed. And your support and interest and follows on social media would be really welcome as well. Hope to see you guys up in the field. Do come and say hello. We'll all be wearing some Heavy Metal Truant shirts and representing. You can ask us in person what we're all about, and maybe see you next year as well. Okay, we'll see ya. Bye-bye.
This is the Lowdown Podcast.
Wow. Absolutely brilliant. Inspiring, isn't it?
It's incredible, to be honest. I can barely be asked driving 180 miles to Download.
It's insane. I imagine the buzz they get, and I think probably, again, similar to Download, the sense of community they have as a group travelling together.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's also a virtual one as well, isn't there? I imagine you can get on your
Yeah.
Peloton or whatever you're on and
Yeah, because
follow
like you said,
along with
that's what Bruce Dickinson joined them
Yeah,
for. I think
yeah.
that was during COVID.
yeah.
During COVID lockdown, so Bruce Dickinson joined them to do the virtual one. But it's a crazy amount of money. I mean, the Truants Foundation overall has raised even more than that. But
Right.
I think nearly 1.6 million pounds now, and hopefully more after this campaign that they're doing. So, and some of the people they've had donate stuff for their. And they did was it like a heavy metal curries and things?
Oh,
they do?
yeah.
It's great. It's great
It's
when people
brilliant.
put that extra bit of effort into, well, I mean, a mammoth amount of effort in to raise some money and for a good cause. But like you say, to do it, keeping fit and making your way to Download.
Just honoured for you guys to have sent it over.
It was.
It was amazing to hear
It was
those
yeah.
names being mentioned on a
Well, when he
audio
said,
file that he'd sent over.
when he said Rod Smallwood, you might not know the name, and I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, you're the biggest Maiden fan in the world.
I've been a hardcore Iron Maiden fan for nearly 25 years. So it's mind blowing.
So it looks like I've been following him since on social media. I think he's touring around with Maiden as well. Alexander doing all the fan club meetups and stuff. It looks absolutely amazing. So we'll be going to see Maiden
Yeah,
in 2 weeks as well.
is that what it is?
Yeah, must be.
3 weeks it'll be from when we're recording now. It'll be 2 weeks
Oh,
after
yeah.
Download.
Yeah,
won't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
So 2 weeks
2 weeks
after
from when
the
this is.
Saturday
Yeah,
Download.
yeah.
So we were totting this up, and within, including the Download week, we've then got 2 weeks until Maiden. So in 3 weeks, in the span of 3 weeks, we've got a Download festival. We've got to see Maiden and Hailstorm, obviously, we're supporting, and then we've got back to the beginning.
Fucking hell.
That's mad. God, my bank account's going to take an absolute hammering. We were bad enough at.
I don't know how I'm going to feel when it's all done. I don't know if they'll be gutted and have a massive come down, or just be like, geez, that was insane. I might need to sleep for a week.
Yeah. But yeah, again, thank you, Alexander, and thank you to everyone at the Heavy Metal Truants for doing what you do. We will hopefully see you rock up again like we do most years, because last year you were getting a picture with the Download dog and Andy Coppin as we were walking into the arena on the Friday. So it would be good to see. I wonder where they put the bikes. I don't know why that's just popped into my head. Well, if there's I think there's a good 30, 40 of them that do it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bikes to park. Better have your car park hanger there.
Yeah. Hung over your handlebars.
Yeah. Did you see that, by the way, that someone had emailed saying, you haven't sent me the car park hanger yet, it's not arrived. And Download's response was, well, bring your proof of purchase and then pay us another 45 quid and we'll reimburse you afterwards. I was like, that's a bit shit.
Yeah. There's a couple of things like that this year. It's been a bit strange.
Yeah, well, yeah, we won't go too far into that, but there's been a few, a few things that probably should have been checked over by a supervisor before they've been sent out.
Been published or whatever.
Yeah, and obviously some of them have done quite a bit of damage. We won't go into that. Other than that, we support everyone and everyone's welcome.
Absolutely.
So we were going to introduce this at the start. This is, I think, if you listen back about 3 months, you'll probably realise the giddiness level and the words per minute that we speak has probably gone up quite a lot.
Slow it down, yeah.
Yeah, slow it down, man. But we've got a few things coming in this episode. We thought we'll mix it up a bit, keep it a bit more varied and entertaining than just us talking at you. So we're obviously going to do a bit of our normal podcast format, which is just chatting around the day, isn't it?
Yep.
What else have we got, Johnny?
We're going to do a bit of a quiz.
Yeah.
Which I thought would be quite fun, actually.
Yeah.
When you're in the car with your mates and you're stuck in traffic or you're just getting excited, it'd be quite good. So, yeah, we're going to do a quiz, which was actually our RIP quiz from last year, I think, wasn't
Yes,
it?
mostly. I've edited it
Changed it
a little bit just to make it, just kind of condense it a little bit.
So you can play along with your mates in the car, or if you're on your own, play on your own. It'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Not too difficult, I don't think.
No.
But
then we're going to look at some last-minute traditions. So we've looked to Reddit and we've asked on the Download Festival forums to say, what are the things you would get excited about doing, be it when you're travelling down, when you just arrive, all those things. Because I know a lot of people have got things that they do every year. Me and Johnny have some, but we're going to save them for our live set on Thursday, aren't we?
yeah,
We'll talk a bit about that there, and we're going to incorporate some of that into our live set. So,
yeah,
yeah,
you will be our tradition.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. That'd be
God,
good.
that seems like an insane
It does.
thing to think about. Yeah, and we're going to talk about what to do when you arrive at site, if you're in general camping, eco, quiet, RIP, all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do a little bit of a weather check.
Ooh.
And
Changes every bloody day, so God knows what it'll be by
Yeah.
the time you listen to this.
And then I want to look, finally, at our final feature of the day will be looking a little bit at the Download Festival forums and also to one of the best parts of the Download weekend, which is the Takeover event, which is on at the Doghouse. And if you're arriving on Wednesday, listening to this on Wednesday, it's today. So get yourself there. But we'll look at that in a little bit more detail later because we've got the fantastic Hevs and John, who Hevs is obviously the boss of the Takeover event.
Yeah.
John is one of the key players there, both of which are long-time forum friends of mine, and they live and breathe Download Festival, so they are very interesting people. And yeah, give them a listen.
Yeah, I had a good listen, and they're great, really funny guys as well.
Yeah, they are.
Lovely, absolutely, genuinely lovely people.
Absolutely. So should we do the quiz, man?
Let's do the quiz then, mate.
I
Go
feel
on.
like we need like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire thing. Like, so I'll do question 1.
Oh, have you got them there?
Yeah, they're here,
great.
mate.
Oh, cool. I was looking
Don't
for
read the
piece of
answer
paper.
out. I put the answer in italics.
Right then, here we go.
So you do 1, I'll do 2. So the first round, the first 5 questions are, what are the biggest selling albums by these bands? So we'll start it nice and easy with AC/DC.
And then we've got Iron Maiden.
Number 3, what's the biggest selling album by The Offspring?
Then we've got Limp Bizkit.
Number 5, what is the biggest selling album? Bit more recent on this one, by Bring Me the Horizon. So there's one for Dylan there. That's one you should know. So question number 6, who headlined the very first Monsters of Rock at Donington Park?
And then the follow-up question to that is, what year was it held?
Brilliant. And then another follow-up question, actually. It's all very... I mean, it's been 45 years now since that. Is that right? Yeah, 45... Oh, bollocks.
Oh, you just give the answer
Oh,
away then.
shit, we have to rewind that.
Oh, keep it.
Well,
We'll keep it.
that's a
If you can-
gimme.
If you can do some maths, you've got that
Yeah,
last
so
question.
this is a maths question. What year was it held? 45 years
45
ago?
years ago.
Oh, fucking idiot. Yeah, sorry, the next one. Can you name the Saxon song written about that day?
Ooh, that's a good one. Let's see the answer.
And then this one is about the inaugural Download Festival.
So, question 9. Who stepped up to replace Limp Bizkit as the second headliner of the inaugural Download Festival back in 2003? You've not done a good job being able to putting the answers literally right next to it.
I know, it's hard
My
to stop, isn't
dyslexia is awful. Just carry on reading.
Did you know that one?
I didn't. No.
So, in what year did Download have a second UK site? And where was it? So we'll make that a 2-point question to make up for the fact that I pretty much gave
give it
it
away.
one. Yeah. So it's a maximum of 11, but one of them was a gimme. Bloody hell.
Do you want to run through them quickly again?
Yeah.
Very quickly.
So question 1, what's the biggest selling album by AC/DC?
Biggest album by Iron Maiden,
3, biggest by The Offspring.
then by Limp Bizkit.
And then the biggest selling album by Bring Me the Horizon.
Next one, who headlined the very first Monsters of Rock at Download? Oh,
At
at
Donington
Donington Park,
Park.
sorry.
And what year was it held? As number 7.
Can you name the Saxon song written about that day?
Question 9, who stepped up to replace Limp Bizkit as the second headline of the inaugural Download Festival? It was on the Sunday of that one in 2003.
And in what year did Download have a second UK site? There we
Right.
go, mate.
Yeah, a bit-
Quizmasters.
Quizmasters, yeah.
With
So that's something we do every year. Well, when did we start that? Did we do that in 2023 or was last year the first one?
I think it might have been last
Oh,
year.
it was
the
last
first
year.
one. Yeah, yeah.
We do a little bit of a camp quiz. And what we do in our camp is it's almost like rather than a winner, it's whoever gets the least
Yeah.
has to do a forfeit. So last year it was a clown wig.
Yeah.
The pair had to go around for the rest of the Thursday wearing clown wigs. And I've got another one planned for this year.
Fantastic.
Have you seen it yet?
I have.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. We'll. Well, I might as well say it because I don't think anyone in our group will be able to listen to this. So the reason I did this, remember when we did a game at Johnny's Stag Do, right? Because it was Johnny's Stag Do, someone bought a double-ended appendage, should we call it?
Some weird tradition.
Yeah. So
for
this
all my
isn't the
mates.
tradition, but yeah, they bring. So they were. The game we ended up with was this big floppy thing. We had to you had to nominate someone across the camp, sat in a big circle, and you have to throw it under this thing underarm to them. If the person caught it, then the person who threw it had to drink.
Yep.
And if the person dropped it, then they had to drink. We also had Miller dressed as a referee for some reason.
Yeah, I think we did.
In a Lionel Richie vest and hot
Pants.
pants.
Yep.
And one of them Firestone red Trilby hats. But what I thought this year was they'd have to wear a cock on their head.
Yeah.
But they've got a cockerel chicken hat.
Fantastic.
A bit like the French rugby fans wear, but it's got a big bloody chicken head on it.
And that's because we named the game Catch the Cock.
Yeah.
And we'd have all 25 of us in a circle chanting like bloody teenagers.
Yeah.
Catch the cock. And hours of entertainment, that wasn't it?
Yeah.
But
But yeah, look out for 2 people wearing big chicken hats, and those will have been the losers of the quiz. So I've written that quiz as well. So I've had 2 quizzes to write. Yeah, trying to think what I've got on it. It's quite Monsters of Rock heavy, that one.
Is it?
Yeah,
Let's do my revision.
yeah, just to give my dad and Drew a little bit more of a chance this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, we mix the pairs up that we draw names out of a hat, so that it's a good bit of an icebreaker as
I'll
well.
tell you what was a good one last year was trying to name as many of the Download headliners as possible.
Yes.
And we got a hell of a lot of them. But there was one that I think we all missed, which I think was Feeder,
Feeder
Yeah.
through everyone.
which was, I think, a shock to everybody.
Yeah, I think it was to feed her.
To them as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So there we go. We'll reveal the answers a little bit later in the episode, but not too much later.
Yeah. So I wonder where you guys are coming from. If hit us in the comments of the episode, tell us whereabouts you, which direction you're hitting. You're going north, you're going south, you're going east or west. We're coming down from the north. It's meant to take us about 3.5 hours down to Donington normally, but usually takes us about 4.5, 5 with a stop.
It does. Yeah, by the time we stop, we meet up with everybody, don't we?
Yeah, we'll meet everyone. We found an Aldi not too far away that serves as a good rendezvous point.
Yep.
Which seems absolutely mental that not only is it this week, that the first time was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's insane.
That was when we had to pretty much unpack my dad and Kate out of the car.
Yeah, we went down in my car, didn't we?
Yeah.
4 of us with all the tent. There was literally no room.
No.
You couldn't have fit a packet of cards in, I don't think.
No. And then when, so we had to, you could literally see just my dad's face. And then on the way home, it was worse because we'd got 4 RIP gnomes.
I think I sacrificed a couple of chairs.
I think you did, yeah.
Just because I knew. Actually, I thought I'd sacrifice them. And then last year when we turned up to download, Drew had brought the 2 chairs back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Kept him in his garage for a year for me. Absolutely brilliant. What a guy.
Yeah, we're very. I'm sure we're not alone in this. There are people that we meet up with that we haven't seen since last year's download. Obviously, Drew being probably the main one that we don't see because he lives quite a long way from us.
Yeah.
And Kat, his daughter, we haven't seen since download 2023. So
yeah, she was working it that year, wasn't
yeah.
she?
So that'll be her first year actually staying in RIP with us. So that's really, really excited.
It's
actually,
going to be amazing, isn't it?
And then we've got our friends Liam, Macca, and Rob meeting us on the Friday, and then we've also got Bainsy, Vaca, and Fraz. I was going to say Bardi, but Bardi's dropped out.
Yeah.
They're coming for a day ticket, so it's going to be.
It's a big squad. Isn't
Yeah, and lots of little reunions,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is quite. It's a nice way to keep the energy going, and also on top of that, we're hoping to. Well, we're hoping to run into Josh. We're hoping to run into Hannah, and on our live podcast, we are going to be joined by Kate and Angela from Heavy Metal Therapy. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to catching up with them in person.
yeah,
We had a real laugh on the live, on the recorded pod,
yeah,
and they do incredible things. So it'll be really good to. I really wanted to do a live interview as well as part of the podcast because we said we want it to be a flavour of what we do naturally.
yes, through the
Sat in your shed throughout the year, but just bringing it to the stage. So it'll be again great to catch up with those guys.
yeah.
They can tell you all about what they do and what offerings they've got for the weekend, can't they?
Yeah, that's right. And then, so our last stop, we usually power straight through to that Aldi,
Yeah, if we can.
and then we end up getting a few last minute bits.
We usually get ice, I think.
Ice, we do, yeah. Top up the thing.
Yeah, I just actually remembered that as it came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
We get a load of ice to top up the cool
I
box.
remembered it as it came out of my mouth. Johnny has no control about what he
No,
says.
I don't. I literally didn't. I had to think about what I'd said. Like, actually, yeah, we do. That's good.
Good point, Johnny.
Well done, mate. Found the back.
Yeah, we're going to grab a few bits from Aldi, go to the loos, and
That's probably the last proper shit you get of the week.
well, not for us because we're in RIP.
Oh,
but
yeah, literally.
it would be for normal people. So yeah, I've put that on my notes for tonight. So
Oh, yeah.
the last porcelain toilet, this last service station stop. So for a long time, this has been not the last porcelain toilet bit, although it is. One of the best bits is getting at that service station when you start seeing everyone in the merch, in the download
all
tops,
the band tees
Metallica,
and-
Maiden,
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. And you think, I'm getting close to home here.
Yeah.
That's,
Similar to that at Slam Dunk, wasn't it, the other week?
Yeah, it
You
was.
could almost tell which services everyone was stopping at.
Yeah. So yeah, we used to go to was it Knutsford?
Yeah, we've stopped at a couple, I think.
And then we had the opposite on the way back when we had the part life. We spoke about that the other week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Everyone in like glittery face glitter and like
Bucket hats
and then a load of like goths and emos and all that.
Oh, who was it who said it was like the Warriors?
Oh yeah,
Isn't it?
proper culture clash.
Great.
So yeah, well, what should we do? Should we do the quiz results? We're just ticking off things here.
Yeah.
We've got some good features to come, but let's do the quiz results and then we'll talk a little bit about arriving at site and what you do then.
Yep.
So, I was going to say get your notepad back out, but if you're driving, don't bother. So, the quiz results. So, what are the biggest selling albums by AC/DC, Johnny?
That is Back in Black.
And then Iron Maiden's biggest selling album is The Number of the Beast. Question 3.
The Offspring, which is Smash.
Question 4. Limp Bizkit's biggest selling album, probably no surprise, is Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavoured Water, which is still one of the shittest album titles of all time.
It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then Bring Me the Horizons album is That's the Spirit.
Quite interested by that.
I didn't expect that.
I thought it might be Sempiternal.
Yeah.
But I think it just shows that little bit of a crossover they had with That's the Spirit. Happy Song and that did a lot of just kind of like the more mainstream side. So, going a bit back in time here for the veterans of Donington Park. So, who headlined the very first Monsters of Rock at Donington Park, Johnny?
Rainbow.
It was, and
That'd have been great.
I might elaborate a little bit on that, just to the history of Donington Park and rock. The reason for that was Rainbow's manager was friends with the owner of the racetrack. So he wanted to finish, I'm trying to think which album it was now. I think it was Difficult to Cure. The one with the Eyes of the World on. Not Difficult to Cure, was it? But he wanted to finish that tour with a big, homecoming UK sort of get the banners out sort of thing with a big outdoor gig. So obviously turned to his pal who said, have it on the infield of my racetrack. So that's how history was made. And the album, I'm going to have to get that. Oh, Down to Earth. Of course it was.
Was that just a one-dayer then, or was it
just a one-dayer? Yeah. So, just to deviate from the quiz a little bit, there was. Well, we'll give you the next one, which we pretty much gave you in the first place anyway. What year was it held? It was obviously 1980. Yeah,
brilliant.
Single stage, and it was headlined by Saxon. You then had. I'm just riffing here because my page hasn't loaded, but you had Judas Priest, you had Saxon, Scorpions, April Wine, Riot, Touch, and Neil Kay. And the song by Saxon, written about the day, was And the Bands Played On, which was, it's a single on their Denim and Leather album.
I've only seen Saxon once, I think, and that was at Bloodstock, and they were phenomenal.
Yeah,
they were absolutely brilliant. Brought one of our mates to tears. They were that good.
Biff Byford's voice is still absolutely insane for his age. Still bringing out decent albums as well. So
I do still think there's a place for bands like that at Download. I really do.
Yeah, I
think we're missing it.
I think it's missing a little bit, and I think I'm meeting with the Live Nation team on Saturday.
Yeah,
and that's going to be one of my big bits of feedback. I think the Avalanche stage should be a bit more varied again, like it was back in 2016 when, ironically, Saxon headlined it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff. So next one.
Back to Download.
Who stepped up to replace Limp Bizkit as the second headliner of the inaugural Download Festival in 2003?
And that
is Audioslave.
Absolutely. And obviously Metallica tried to headline it.
Yeah.
But they were contractually bound by Reading and Leeds,
Really?
so weren't able to do it, which is why they ended up doing a secret set instead.
Yeah, okay. Right.
So, and then another one, which is an interesting fact, which I wonder if things would play out differently today, but in which year did Download Festival have a second UK site? And that was in 2004, and that was in Glasgow. Download Scotland was held in Glasgow Green, and it was headlined by Metallica and Linkin Park.
That's crazy, isn't it?
And it apparently sold really poorly.
Really?
Yeah, which is why it never happened again.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, imagine that now if you had a festival headlined by them two in Glasgow Green.
Oh, God. Sell out in bloody...
Yeah, you'd be fighting for tickets, wouldn't you? Weird.
And they obviously had all the Download Europe ones as well, didn't they? Which,
Yeah, that's kind of died a death a bit, hasn't it?
yeah, I don't think they really...
No,
there's any,
we
is
did it
there?
in Australia as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of people when we first started the podcast and asked their greatest memories and stuff, loads saying, like, Download Paris. or
Yeah.
whatever, and it's like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, Download France. That was a bit of a... I don't know if you could ever say, well, that's not really going to work. I think the Download... Hellfest just got its own, hasn't it, in
Yeah.
France?
Well, Slam Dunk are doing it now, aren't they? They've got Slam Dunk all over the place.
Yeah. That's not what it's called.
Yeah, that's not the tour.
Slam dunk. all
Slam
over the
Dunk
place.
fucking everywhere.
But yeah, they seem to be doing pretty well with that.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, good quiz that, mate.
Yeah,
Very
cheers, buddy.
good. Very good.
So let's have a little bit of a pause, and then we'll talk about actually getting to the site.
Yeah, sounds good.
This is the Lowdown Podcast.
Okay. So we thought we'd talk through our yearly tradition of what we do the morning of Download.
Yeah, I think as the years go by, you start kind of slotting into something you do every year. So,
Yeah.
so what's your plan? What do you do the night before to start with?
I
Panic.
usually panicking that I've not packed everything, but then have to tell myself it's all fine. I've got my phone and I've got my wallet and my ticket, and that'll do me. I usually pack all my stuff in the car or the van.
Yeah, we're doing that on Tuesday, aren't we?
We
this
are
week?
doing that.
To set
Get
up
all
on
the big
Thursday.
stuff away. And then I'm usually spent an hour and a half trying to put my lad to bed because it takes fucking ages to go to sleep. And it's my job because Danielle will obviously be having him for the next 4
Yeah.
nights. So I best do my dad duties, which is quite nice. And this year took a real interest, and now he just keeps asking. He doesn't call it Download. He calls it the Lowdown Podcast. So because he wants to go to the Lowdown Podcast to see Ratata. That's his favourite song. What great tune that the Electric Cowboy aren't playing this year.
Yeah.
Well, they could be if it's a secret. But so yeah, that's usually mine. Try and get a bit of an early night, and I struggle because I can't fucking switch off because I'm overthinking everything.
You're struggling now, aren't you?
I am struggling now, because I pick you up about 4 a.m.
4 a.m, you're going to come and pick me, Kate, and Dad up
Dad
because my sister Kate's going to sleep at my dad's.
Oh, is she?
Yeah,
Ah,
my
cool.
Dad lives across the road from me, so yeah, literally like a stone's throw away. So
Yeah.
I sometimes end up sleeping on the settee actually, so don't bother anyone when I
Yeah,
wake
yeah,
up.
yeah, exactly.
Like you say, I barely sleep a wink. Some years I stay at my mum and dad's, and Kip in a room with Kate again.
Yeah.
And she puts on the Harry Potter audiobooks. Just lie there for hours listening to bloody Harry Potter audiobooks. But yeah, then you pick us up about 4.
Yeah,
and we hit
about
the
4
road.
o'clock, and then we're off. And I have been stressing this year just because I'm thinking I'm not going to get much sleep because we're already excited, but tenfold more than what we usually are, which
Yeah.
is crazy. I mean, this is like peak Christmas Eve when you're a kid giddiness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone says it, but it really is. But as soon as that alarm goes off and wakes you up, you're fucking wide awake and you're ready to
yeah.
go, aren't you?
Yeah.
There's no going back off to sleep.
There's another tip. Turn the bloody alarm off for the next day.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The amount of fucking alarms in Sleepy Hollow,
Oh,
remember
I
that?
charge you, and then they just go on forever.
One guy's alarm, he was snoring, whoever this fellow was, for England. Honestly, it was rattling the campsite. And his alarm was going off every 5 minutes. at about 4 o'clock. 'Cause
Yeah.
he'd obviously set it for his journey
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
So yeah, I put mine on my insulin pump because then it don't wake the whole house up. It just
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of buzzes next to me, but then I forget and it wakes me up the next morning when I'm hungover and really need to sleep. So yeah,
we'll be setting off 4 o'clock. Hit the road. We're all very excited. And then it's like you say, it's almost just a flat out journey till
we get to that Aldi.
we get to the Aldi, unless we
Unless
need
we
to
need-
stop and. Oh, sometimes we've actually stopped. We've stopped for a bacon bun and
yeah.
coffee and stuff.
Depending how we feel.
Depending how
I
we
had
go.
that year. We in 22 we got a coach company to take us down, didn't we? And I got to the services and I was like, oh, something not right with my stomach.
Yeah.
I went in and I got like a Yazoo, and I was like, oh god, and I'll have some Rennies as well. Hope this goes away. Kind of nursed it all weekend, and then my appendix nearly burst in it. Ended up having my appendix out a few days after download.
I thought you were just like anxious or a bit nervous, so you just had that like excited.
Well, yeah,
stomach
I
or
do that
had
normally.
anyways.
Yeah, but this year there was something just not right. Yeah, and then my appendix nearly fucking exploded.
So I've not got too many big traditions really for before I go, but
No, ours are more when we get there, aren't they?
yeah, they are. But we put a question out, a bit of a note out on Reddit, and there's some really good ones that people have responded with.
Yeah, so we've Reddit and the forums, so we'll
And
go
the
back and
forums,
forth. won't
Yeah,
we?
so Summoning Bot said, we have a barbecue the day before, and we go to the pub near my house for some evening drinks. Then we all stay at mine and travel together in the morning. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I bet that's an absolute blast the night before. But I just know if we did that, we'd end up absolutely steaming, and
Yeah.
we'd be hanging all the way there.
Yeah.
So it's probably best that we're in separate houses the night before.
I thought that, yeah, watching like Jarrett and Robin did that, didn't they? They had like a bit of a
Pre-slam dunk.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've seen Dill Cam. They do like they seem to have a bit of a
Yeah,
drink the night
okay.
before. Yeah. So on the forums, God bless you, Marco, but you've put stop at the services and have a coffee, and then we go to Part 5 after dropping our stuff off. I don't know if that's a tradition. So that's just what you do.
Hey, but if that's what it does
That's-
every year,
Yeah.
that's it.
Our good friend Josh, he's put we've done arena only now for years, so ours is going to be a bit different as we rock up for the first day of music in the arena. But it basically involves cooking a big breakfast and having a soak in the hot tub before we get ready.
Oh man,
Pack the bags, feed the cats before we drive in. That sounds awesome.
that sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, R.I.P. Up your game. We want hot tubs next year.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
I'm amazed they haven't had that.
Yeah.
Not like as part of the thing, but like something you can pay for.
Yeah, some real luxury. So I can't pronounce this one. This is the name.
So,
Go on, have a go at that. It's probably a play on words where it's going to be really offensive.
Resonance magnetic. Bloody hell, he's just headbutted his keyboard. hasn't he?
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for sending it in, and you'll know who it is when I read that. But it says, I always watch a film called The Festival. It's got Joe Thomas from The In-Betweeners in it, and it's pretty much The In-Betweeners at a festival. I've seen it as well. It's
Yeah, it's a
absolutely
good
brilliant. But
Filmed at Leeds, isn't it?
Yeah, that almost makes me feel a bit like Christmas Eve. We always watch the same
Yeah.
Christmas film on Christmas Eve and to get giddy and brilliant. Trace 307 said, we drive down from Glasgow and always play the what car is going to download game. Usually drive down on the Tuesday night and see the filled boots round with stuff, so it's a toss up between old couple camping holiday and yes, definitely a download car. That's right, and you can see it'd be like when we went, your dad's face squashed against one window,
Yeah.
Kate's on the other, and a lot of
We've got one from Carnage from the forums. I like this one. Once we've erected our gazebos and finished the camp setup, we use Sharpies and the boxes the gazebos came in to make cardboard cutouts of the campmates who couldn't make it that year.
That's great. Quality Biologist said, we always go to McDonald's on the way and Toby Carvery on the way home. Day before, we go to the shop and pick out the picky bits and an energy drink each, few cans in the fridge and all in the cooler bag. Once we get out the car, we crack a can for the walk, and once we find our spot to camp, we sit on our camp chairs and have a recovery picnic before putting the tent up.
It's not dissimilar to
Yeah,
us, actually. I've
that's cool.
just bought a 4-pack of Relentless for us all
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
way down. We usually, when we did general camping, and we will do general camping again, won't we?
Yeah.
We'd always crack a beer for the walk.
Yeah.
Then we'd find a pitch that looked about right, sit down, have a beer, and then get cracking. So I've got one from Jump on the forums. A couple I normally go with have a tradition of once the tent is set up and everyone in the group has gone to get supplies or have a wander, they will make coitus as soon as they can in their tent. They told me the first day, and sooner rather than later is the best time for making whoopee. Because as the festival goes on, you get more and more unhygienic for their naughty parts.
Hey,
I should have read that before.
That's a good tradition, that.
In fairness, I can't argue with that, he said.
Turn up and have a shag. Great stuff.
Bloody hell. They must be in RIP. I won't have the energy after a fucking general camping walk.
Oh, bro. Rude Nora. Oh, she could come up with something else here as well. Let's have a look. Gloucester Services is a posh farm shop. Getting amazing full English and treat ourselves to a sit-down wee in the men's. and take a moment to appreciate somebody hasn't drawn their initials with their own shit on the wall. This will be the last time for 6 days that you'll experience such luxury. We'll crack a cold one when we enter the hallowed grounds and enjoy.
I've got one from the Burning Blue. And me and my camp have a new thing. I started it last year, where basically we do Secret Santa, but buy each other embarrassing shirts. Last year we wore them to the village on Wednesday night. I think the plan this year is to wear them for the Venga Boys. Last year's results were eye-opening. I'm both excited and worried what people may end up with this year.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's a really good one.
That's a good shout, that. We might have to steal that one. Mike141195 said, I always watch the Woodstock 99 documentary on Netflix the night before. Gets me in the mood and reminds me of how lucky Download Festival is with organisation. That's great.
Yeah. Coop agreed with the Burning Blue one, said they always start a shit shirt day. We do as well, don't we? Our Friday is always Hawaiian shirts.
Oh, yeah.
So if you see 20 odd of us in Hawaiian shirts on the Friday,
that'll be us.
That'll be us. But we've also had, and there's a final one on the forum from Mega Ross, and he's put a bit of a bullet point list. Initiation pints for newcomers, beer pong Thursday, dress up Friday. They're doing pirates this year. The Foster's shower. I don't know what that means. I might have to ask you to elaborate on that one, Ross. Food Sunday, which I don't know if he means make food. That's the first time they eat. And Q Hooch. So yeah, brilliant.
And this one's from Obscene Lobster. The morning of, I'll make bacon sarnies for the gang to eat in the car on the way. We'll despair at the way the car has been packed and then play Tetris to fit the rest of our stuff in. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? We swear at the school kids we see on their way to school as we leave the town. Play Rage Against the Machine to the cows as we sit in traffic and get increasingly angry when we get beeped at, only to remember that at the last minute we have a honk if you're horny for download sticker on the back of the car. Tradition. That's fucking great.
Just deviating a sec. We've just done a reel for basically a thing of how to use 3 words without any data signal. My mum's just message, where were you taking the gnome?
See out the front.
Yeah.
Tradition, new tradition.
New tradition, take the gnome for a walk. Have we got any more?
Lazy Anxiety 9922. We get some food and hot drinks. We sit in a campsite and chill. We have a game before we go. We each pick a band not on the lineup we think we will see the most tops and hoodies of and try to spot them. Whoever has the less by the time we finish food and drink owes the other merch. That's cool, isn't it, actually?
Yeah.
They are fantastic. They're really good.
Yeah.
Just reading them out has made me pretty giddy.
I quite like that one. The fucking lost it now. I always watch. This is Mike 141195. I always watch the Woodstock 99 doc. Did you say that one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I must have been zoned out there.
No, that's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, and you do like. I watched that with my mum and dad actually. And at the end of that, I still felt giddy. for a festival,
Yeah, I
even
know.
though it looked like everything's on fire.
Yeah,
I'm thinking,
I felt the same. Like, I could do that.
I'd still go, yeah.
Yeah, I'd still do that.
And I still had a fucking great time. But that's an interesting thing. Like, you'll see Download set, every stall will charge the same for a bottle of water,
Yeah.
or a can of pop, or a cheeseburger even, and that is to stop things that happened at Woodstock 99,
Yeah.
where people were hiking the prices of water when things started to run out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's fortunate that that's in place, and it, you know, we'll gripe now and again about Download's organisation and all that sort of stuff, but for the most part, there's not too much wrong with it.
Yeah. Whenever anyone puts on a festival or any event, or we know what it's like in work as well, it's a thankless job.
Yeah.
'Cause it will never go 100% perfect.
No.
There'll all be some fuck ups, but no one remembers all the good stuff. They just remember, oh, that was shit when this happened or that happened, and
Yeah,
so it's a difficult task, isn't it?
yeah,
Literal logistical nightmare.
yeah,
And communication is key with a lot of it. Like I say, we've seen a lot of it with Download this year. I think it's just down to
been
a lack of communication between parties and
yeah. It's
or
been
not enough communication. I should say, is
or
always some of it.
not enough of a solid line of communication.
Yeah.
In terms of just, it's not been the best. So we're nearly an hour into the podcast now, and some of you might be approaching the Download site, depending on where you're from. We won't be. We will still have
We'll
about
be in
3
about
hours.
Lancaster, won't we?
Yeah. Barely made the motorway. We live in a town that's...
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes away from the
It
motorway,
is,
isn't
yeah.
it?
As the old pushbike army said, 35 miles from the motorway. But, yeah, when you arrive at site, what do we do? So I think anyone who's looked at the socials recently, I think the first bit of excitement for Download being in build is when you start seeing them yellow signs.
Yeah.
So the official guidelines for that is turn your sat-nav off, look for those big yellow signs and follow them. And I've put throw
It's
the
funny,
horns to
every-
obvious downloaders.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Everyone starts beeping at each other, and you can just hear everyone's got the windows down and blasting
Got
music.
going.
Every year, I take a picture of that first yellow sign.
Yeah.
I never look at it again. So in my folder somewhere, I've got.
Mine always come up in my memories.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout. But it is great, isn't it?
So-
like you say, follow the signs. They're pretty clear, aren't they?
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, they have specific traffic management in place. So if you follow your sat-nav, you might end up... I mean, God, me and Emily went to Geronimo Festival near Warrington. There was like a family. It's meant to be like Glastonbury for kids.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's folded now.
Has
but
it?
yeah, my sat nav took me down a single dirt track farm road, with all my camping gear in the back, and I was thinking, oh God, I wish I'd have fucking listened to that.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Sometimes they put like a one-way system in and all sorts, don't they? And
Yeah.
So yeah, your sat nav will just.
Yeah, I mean, Castle Donington's a village, and all the surrounding places are little villages,
Yeah.
aren't they? So
Stunning as well, aren't they?
Oh,
They're
they're so
absolutely
gorgeous.
beautiful, like houses. and
proper
stuff,
Middle
as you know.
England sort of.
I don't know. People must still do it, but there must be a pub-ish nearby, or people used to go into
Castle Donington.
Castle Donington
Yeah.
itself the first day, maybe the Wednesday.
Yeah,
That used to be quite a tradition, didn't it?
I saw on Facebook the other day, someone was saying that there's back in the day there used to be bands on in every pub, but now apparently there's stuff goes on the Wednesday night in one of the local pubs. I think they
Yeah,
put
okay.
on some decent food, and
Oh, cool.
it's a nice little village.
Yeah, it is really nice. But yeah, you'll see the yellow signs. That's the first bit, and then you start seeing some of the infrastructure.
Yeah,
So all the barriers and stuff, and then I think the stomach churning moment is when you see the tops of those tents,
you
isn't
start
it?
seeing some, yeah.
It's pretty, it's a pretty special feeling, isn't it?
Shows we're doing the podcast right, hopefully, because it's making me very excited.
Yeah, it is.
Seeing the top of them tents, starting to see like rows of
Cars, yeah.
or tents pitched up.
What we always see every year is people walking with the bags, but they're fucking miles away from the
Yeah.
festival. It's like they've just been dropped off, or they've decided to walk from the bus stop, or whatever it might be. But you think, God, they've got a hell of a trek even just to get to the entrance. Never mind to the people climbing over fences. We've seen it all, haven't we?
Yeah.
So yeah, just make sure you check the map to see where the drop off points are and where the actual entrances are, because every year we see people struggling, looking at each other, going, "I don't have a fucking clue where I'm going here."
Yeah. Oh, the amount of times you've walked that far with heavy gear that you think, I haven't even got the arm strength left to put a fucking tent up.
No.
But yeah, so you arrived on site, get to that correct car parking space. I mean, they've got detailed plans in place now to make things easier for everyone. So if you can go to the correct one, hopefully it'll avoid any sort of traffic chaos like we had in 23.
Yeah.
So yeah, park your car up, load your trolley up, like we said, crack that beer, and head for the entrance. So if you're in general camping, what do you do, Johnny? You got to tackle that bloody hill now, haven't you?
Oh shit. What do they call it? Like heart attack hill or something?
Oh, it's
cardiac hill or something they call it now, don't they?
So yeah, coming up, you go
about
past
that.
in 22. We went past the box office on the right, and then it's quite a short hill, but it's fucking steep, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, especially when we take the trolleys.
Yeah,
and you're pulling that up.
yeah,
Your dad's amazing in those scenarios. He gets his old like Cub Scout head on, doesn't he? And he's like, he just says, just one foot after another, just focus on your feet, and we just plough on through. But there's also, you got to remember, there is no rush. So if you're knackered or one of you is knackered, just stop. Just stop.
Yeah.
Sit on the floor, have a beer, have a laugh.
yeah,
Because everyone else will be doing the same, and then just carry on when you're comfortable.
yeah. That's it. Get your tickets up.
Yeah.
Go through security. You'll most likely get a good pat down of your bag. The spot check. So again, we've seen it a lot on Facebook. People saying they don't make you empty your bag. I've had to empty every single fucking thing out of my bag.
Me too.
Including me bloody toilet bag and everything.
Yep.
So they definitely check. They might not do it every time to you, but if you got a download, I mean, we've gone to download now for 12 years. And yeah, we've had several times where they've bloody looked. I'm surprised they weren't rubber gloving us, to be honest. Find your camping chair up there.
Yeah, 2 of them. And then you've got your wristband on.
Yeah.
And that is one hell of a feeling, isn't it?
It's job done. For
Obviously, top tip, put your wristband on your non-wiping hand. I think that is a very good tip.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, but yeah, you want to be doing that. I think the peak moment for me when we got a wristband has to be when we did the pilot.
The pilot, yeah.
And we didn't know whether we were going to get to do that again, because it was that kind of time period, wasn't it? Where we're thinking, will we ever see Download again, or will we get to go to a festival again? So when we got that wristband on, oh man, I could have cried. It was absolutely amazing.
Well, it was 14 months since we'd last been to a gig, hadn't it?
Yeah.
And that was only a tribute night we'd gone to, so it was, God, it must have been nearly 2 years since we'd done a proper gig. And and people were just, we got hugged by a random guy, didn't we?
Yeah.
And Download's like that anyway. You'll get hugged by random people high five you, you know, and just
embrace it.
I think
absolutely embrace it.
The community feeling is, if you're a first timer,
there's very few people there that are trying to do things like maliciously or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's
they do exist, but and
they're everywhere, aren't they? But not Download. I mean everywhere in general, but very few and far between. And then it's a long walk to camp.
That's I think this is possibly partly a guide to newcomers. It's a fucking walk.
It is a trek, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't underestimate it. Stop as many times. Well, stop when you need to.
Yeah.
You won't need a bloody hoodie on, put it that way.
No. I remember walking for my stag dressed as slutty Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So I had a blazer, a shirt, tie, hat, wig, fake tan.
Leather miniskirt.
Dildo sticking out my top pocket. Trying to lug all my gear to camp. Oh God, it was. It's incredible when you find that spot and you're all looking at each other and you go, "Is this us for the weekend?"
Yeah.
And you go, "Yeah." Drop them bags on the floor, and it is great, isn't it?
It's funny because you can still remember that moment every single
Every time. Yeah, I think you bang on there.
I remember 2019 getting at the top of Red Camp, going through Black Camp, which was like a war zone. Someone had wrote Slayer on the wall in mud, and we could barely drag our trolleys through it, and then pulling up the hill, and we ended up bloody shoehorning our tent in, but then finally sitting down and cracking a beer and just getting that festival buzz. I just love that warmth of you can hear laughter, you can hear music playing all the time, people shouting in the distance, and that Thursday evening where the sun's setting on a when it's a clement weekend. And to be honest, the Thursday in 2019 wasn't that bad for large parts until a bit later on. It had been awful the Wednesday. But when you get that orange sunset, and the festoon lights start,
and it's like the odd bit of smoke that you see from people's barbecues or vapes, or the burger vans and stuff, and it's just something about it, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's absolutely fantastic. I'm sure everyone listening will be able to understand what we're saying here, because it's just a insane feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's special. It really is special.
I think we've been quite fortunate. I can't think many times where we've had to pitch our tent in the pissing rain.
That's a good point.
I think we've been very lucky.
Honestly,
the only time I can think is the pilot. The pilot was pissing it down, but other than that, the normal festivals would be.
Don't get the violin out. We had a pop-up tent.
Yeah, we did. Fucking hell. I don't even think we bothered pegging it down either.
Just get in.
We just threw it out and put our bag in it.
Yeah, and then went to the second stage tent.
Yeah,
but tents are. Go off on a tangent again because Vacca's coming. I was thinking about this the other day because we first festival, camping festival I went to was Leeds 2005 with Vacca. And me, Dad, Darzy, Kate, Drew went on, and Neil went early on the first day because Neil lived not too far from Leeds. He lived near Scunthorpe.
Yeah.
And we went through, and this was the old sort of shitty tents where you had to put the innards up first.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So we put the innards up.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, the most biblical rain. Honestly, I mean, I've been to Download 2016. This was very short, but was as heavy as any of them. And I just had to put the fly sheet over the tent so the tent didn't get so. Yeah. And I just stood there with my arms out in a t-shirt, just getting absolutely soaked for about 20 minutes.
Oh no!
And then I had to put like a little top bit over the tent, and I was just dripping wet through. And then Vacca rocked up later when the sun was out, going, "All right, guys, how's it going?" I was like, "You
nice one, mate."
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Vacca coming to Download. I think he's.
Yeah, I think.
All three of them.
Absolutely, because we talk about it enough to them. We've probably brainwashed them enough.
Yeah,
the first time.
Well, all three of them lads. I mean, two of the three were in my form at senior school, so they've been my best friends since I was about 11.
Yeah.
And Fraz probably about 12. And we've been good friends for, Jesus Christ, that's 25 years nearly.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they've never been to Download, and they obviously, I mean, you're listening to a podcast of me talking about it. I'm no better outside of this podcast. Yeah. I talk about it all the time. So.
If we turn this off now, we'd just be listening to the exact same conversation.
Yeah, well, we did that. We've said this before, but before we started the podcast, we sat here without the mics on talking about Download. It's like,
just fucking press record.
Yeah.
But it'd be great for those guys because I think unless you've been, you can almost pick it up from the vlogs, but I think you need to be able to see it to understand it, and then when you reflect on it, you know exactly.
You can't get that atmosphere from a vlog,
and I love vlogs. She'd love to just walk through the festival, walk through camp, didn't
Yeah,
she?
she said she'd happily get dropped off at one side, walk through the camps and through the arena, and then get picked up at the other side and go home, because she's done like the music at all.
Yeah.
She's not a heavy metal fan or anything like that, but she watches TPD
Yeah, yeah.
religiously.
Yeah.
She said she'd love to just walk through and soak up the atmosphere. So it's quite something.
It is.
I am very, very excited. So the other thing is, Johnny, we do things a little bit differently now. So
Yeah,
what about RIP?
We're in
RIP
RIP now.
camping.
Be a bit weird this year as well. We've got quite a few instructions. It's almost like bloody Crystal Maze or something. We've got to pick guest wristbands up and artist wristbands up and RIP wristbands, haven't we?
I'm going to have no space on my arm. I'm going to have to take this slam.
I know, and I thought, bloody hell, security are going to look at us and why have you got fucking 4 wristbands?
Yeah.
So we've got to figure all that out in the morning. But it is great driving into RIP. We like to call it Centre Parks for Goths. Get our car checked over and stuff, and then we just get chaperoned to.
Yeah. So if you haven't been to RIP before and it's your first time, you drive in and they send the dogs round.
Yeah.
So you'll go into like a lane. Johnny said it's like Centre Parks for Goths, because you go into like a little check-in lane.
Yeah.
They'll take the dog round. I think they're mainly sniffing for explosives.
Yeah.
You then get directed every single step of the way until you are at your camping pitch.
Yeah. And this year I'm going in a camper van.
Yep.
Which is great. We're taking you guys down all together. That'll be good fun.
Yeah.
You guys have got a tent. I've got an Airbeam awning, which I tested out the other week.
Looks
Goes up in
amazing.
about 30 seconds. Absolutely incredible. Solid as well, so that'll be good.
Yeah, we paid for a Fat Frank's one, didn't we? But
Oh,
I've sent
yeah.
that to. I've given Rosie the.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good shout.
yeah, so because they're going on the
They
Wednesday,
can
so
get it when they get there.
well, they might have a. They'll be parked camped a bit better than us, won't
Yeah,
they?
they
So
will,
we might be
yeah.
able to wander through and have a few beers.
Yeah,
around there.
good idea. And what we try and do is go in a convoy, so that's why we meet up in the Aldi round the corner.
Yeah,
Because if there's 3 or 4 cars, we want to make sure that we're all parked next to each other and therefore camped next to each other.
Yeah.
RIP. And then it's all a free for all, everyone helping each other out, isn't it? Getting the
is.
tents up and
you don't. If you're in, you don't get your wristband at this point, do you? Which is
we were really confused, weren't we?
it's
the
quite a
first year?
vulnerable feel about this. And I watched Stu's video again from 2023, because that is a bit of an all-time favourite of mine in
Yeah.
terms of, I think it absolutely perfectly captures what Sleepy Hollow's like, and
Yeah.
beyond that, what Download's like.
Yeah.
But
And also his reaction with it being first time.
Yeah.
It's exactly how he felt. But yeah, you're right about the
it's very
wristbands.
weird not having a wristband. You feel like a bit naked.
Yeah, like, oh, shouldn't have let me in here. What's going
Yeah.
on?
So you go through, when you go to one of the huts, one of the reception huts, they will check your, well, for the camp, both years they've checked IDs, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, yeah.
Before giving us our wristband. Apparently, people who have done Metal Meadow and all the, the yurts and all that sort of stuff, we've got friends that are doing Bell tents again, haven't we?
Yeah, I got a message from our good friend Rob Wheeler, who runs RW events in Barrow, all the incredible gigs and stuff that we go to. They're in Metal Meadow in one of the TPs,
Right.
and they're going via big green coach. So they were wondering, how do they get from the pickup point at Download, or the drop-off point, sorry,
Yeah.
to RIP, and it looks like RIP run a
shuttle.
shuttle, which is
Yeah.
great.
They
'Cause
do
I
from
said to
their
him,
car
"Fucking hell,
park
that's
as
a
well."
long walk. It's
Yeah.
literally the opposite side of the
Yeah,
festival.
you'd have to walk pretty much right round.
round it, wouldn't you? Because you wouldn't have a thing to get in. So,
But but yeah, you go and get your thing, and then you'll walk round to the little. They've got like RIP merch stations. You get your little goodie bag.
yeah, that'd be exciting. I was thinking, I packed, I think, 5 T-shirts, and I think we'll be getting 3 while we're there as well, won't we?
Yeah,
So that'd be quite interesting.
yeah.
You end up coming home with more stuff than what you went with.
Well,
doesn't
most of my clothes end up being clean,
it? Yeah.
because I end up just changing my boxes, staying in the
Yeah,
same
just in the
shorts.
same T-shirt.
Well, and I always think, when things are still dry, just
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
keep them on.
exactly. Yeah, I know, because you don't know what the weather's going to be like.
Yeah,
So yeah, and then I think we'll talk a bit more about our routines and our what our Thursday usually consists of. Talk a bit about that on the live pod,
Yeah.
won't we? Because
Be something to talk
Be
about.
something. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, first 5 minutes will just get me hand to stop shaking.
Yeah.
Like
It's mental, isn't it?
mad. But yeah, that's added a little bit of complexity because we have to go here, there, and everywhere, picking up different stuff,
Yeah.
checking in with different people.
Yeah.
We can get a little buggy.
Yeah, I saw that email the
somewhere.
other day, actually.
I want to do that just for the sake of.
So
doing
do
it.
I, but I feel cheeky. Can you pick us up in Park Farm and drop us off?
I think it's just from guest camp.
Is
He
it?
sent us an email.
Ah, yeah,
Quenny
okay.
sent us an email
Yeah,
saying
it's in that.
they're going to add us to a WhatsApp group with some of the artists.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll be in there with all like Fairtooth. And
Oh, yeah.
all the and then we just let them know when we want picking up from
And
guests.
dropping off as
Yeah,
well. As well.
I might walk to guest just to get a buggy back, even though it's further.
That's amazing, isn't it?
So yeah, we'll talk a bit more on the live one. We're going to absolutely stay around for the Fest Pod guys, have a beer and relax
Yeah.
and listen to.
Well, we're usually in Park Farm around that time, anyways. I looked at my pictures from last year. We were sat having a pint at 11:30
Yeah,
with everyone. The sun was shining as well. Fingers crossed last
Yeah.
year. So yeah, we'll go and do our bit for 45 minutes, and then watch the Fest Pod guys, which I'm excited for. And then, like you say, we're gonna have a bit of a catch up with them afterwards as well. Which
Yeah.
will be nice. I think once we've all come off stage and chilled,
Yeah.
it'll be quite a nice thing to do.
Yeah,
we'll be
we'll-
sticking around in Park Farm for a few hours, I imagine, to say hello to everybody and catching up with friends and stuff.
yeah.
So if you do see us, come and have a chat.
Yeah. I mean, I love chatting to people. that
we
download
could
it.
do it all day long. And then
That's if you've never been to Download before, I think it's almost. I mean, there'll be a lot of people that are going alone as well. So if you're listening to this and you're going to the Lone Wolf Camp or anything like that, I think it's the easiest place to make new friends.
oh, for sure.
Or new acquaintances for the weekend, because you just go up and go, "Hiya, mate, you all right? You having a great time at Download?
Yeah.
Who have you seen so far?
Exactly.
Who are you looking forward to seeing?
Exactly.
And from that bit of information, you start already. Oh, right, you like them. Oh, do you like them? You might
Yeah,
listen
yeah.
to these.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, like we'll just be having a crack with a stranger, and you can be talking for a good hour about different bands you like, different years. Have you been to Download before?
Yeah, yeah.
It's really cool.
Well, you're there for a common reason, aren't you?
Yeah.
And like when you meet a stranger, usually you try and find that common ground to strike the conversation. But
Yeah.
you're there. It's amazing. 99% of the time, if you could tap on someone's shoulder and you could go, "Hi, mate, how's it going?" And they wouldn't look at you like you've got two heads.
No, they wouldn't.
You do end up talking to everybody, don't
Yeah.
you, when you're walking around. It's great. And I like it when you're watching a band, or even when you're in like District X, and then someone's wearing a tour T-shirt, and you're going, "Oh, that's that Metallica tour that we went to in
Yeah.
2005." And then you go, "Fucking hell," and you look at it, and then they turn around and go, "Oh, we were just looking at your T-shirt, actually.
Yeah.
We were at that gig." And the next minute, you're off. Especially with the battle jackets. We
Yeah.
get that a hell of a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
People looking on the back, and then you get like prodded almost, don't you? To say,
Yeah.
and then they go, "Okay, mate. Oh, have you seen AC/DC before then?" Yeah. And then it just goes from there, doesn't it? So
One of the funny things I like doing as well is everyone will have done this, when you're working out who's on next by looking at someone's back.
back of this. Yeah, exactly. Where am I going next?
But my dad's short-sighted, I'm short-sighted, and my sister is short-sighted. So at certain points, there'll be all three of us squinting at someone's back. So the stranger turns around and us three are squinting. About nose nearly touching the back. So that's it, Download family. We have a big feature coming up here. We've got. I'm going to talk a little bit about the forums, but in terms of getting there, that's us there. This beers. Repeating on me, right?
I know, I
need to
thought I
walk
was,
quick.
but I've just been to our local Italian and I absolutely stink with a big cheesy garlic.
That's why I'm
bread.
drinking so quick, trying to get over that fucking stench. No garlic on Thursday.
No, fucking hell.
But yeah, that's we're going to be there on we're going to be there Thursday. Many of you will be in a stone's throw away on Tuesday night. So I can't believe that you'll hear this with Hebs and John, that their Download journey has already begun. And I'm sure many people that are flying from overseas will be already, the journey will be underway. So that's really exciting. it's this episode for me has got me really in the
God.
mood for it now. We've
We
been
said it's,
a little stressed, haven't we?
We have been a bit stressed. I think I don't like to swamp my wife with loads of download stuff because I talk about it enough and I'm sure she gets sick of it. But now this time of the year, like the week before, is when I really need to just talk about it to get it.
Yeah.
It's almost like going through a checklist.
Yeah.
And it's getting rid of that nervous energy and going, oh, just let you know, I've packed my power bank.
Yeah.
And she go, oh, good, yeah.
Yeah.
And going, I'm just telling you because I need to tell someone.
You're just thinking out loud, are you?
Yeah, exactly. So doing this has got me giddy and made me realise I'm probably more prepared than what I thought I was.
Yeah, I've taken all the stuff over at Dad's. I've just got all the podcast equipment in a big Ninja air fryer box. We bought a Ninja air fryer a few weeks ago.
I was going to say, take that with you. We've got the power box.
Oh yeah. But I said we've got clipboards, and we said we're going to look like bloody holiday reps. But I'm going to look even more so with a bloody Ninja air fryer
Yeah, you
box.
will.
Look like I'm trying to flog it.
Raffle it off.
Yeah. So should we do the unspeakable and look at the weather forecast, man?
Ooh, go for it. Go on.
We're probably a little bit far out, so it'll probably have changed by the time you listen to this. But we'll do live reaction or whatever the fuck it looks like now.
I imagine we'll say what it is, and then people will be laughing in the cars listening to this, going, "It's absolutely pissing it."
Oh yeah, because let's have a look now, mate.
Oh, not good. Yeah,
Perfection at the
go
minute.
on, go for it.
So the Met Office, I am told by Google and by many people that the Met Office is the way to go. So Wednesday, the 11th of June, sunny intervals, changing to partly cloudy by night time, 24 degrees.
Jesus, right?
Thursday,
Yeah.
light showers changing to sunny intervals by lunchtime,
Oh, that'd be good.
24 degrees.
Oh man.
Friday, sunny intervals changing to partly cloudy by night time, 25 degrees. Saturday, the 14th of June, sunny intervals changing to partly cloudy by night time, 22 degrees. I'll have to go to AccuWeather for the Sunday because Met Office doesn't go that far.
Right.
But, holy shit.
Oh, I mean,
Oh, please stay like that.
please say that. The only time it'll be partly showers will be when we're fucking doing the live pod, probably. just our luck.
Oh, yeah.
So just bring your waterproofs, and I'll have a blast regardless. But yeah, that'll do me fine. That.
Oh, that'd be amazing. So, God's sake, AccuWeather's puts you with
I'll be factor 50 in it all weekend, anyways. Regardless, to be honest, because
in the winter.
I get even if it's dead cloudy, I'll be fucking.
AccuWeather's
burnt.
similar, you know.
Is it?
Wednesday, nice and warm with intervals of cloud and sun. 23 degrees on Thursday, warm with more clouds and sun, and a couple of showers in the afternoon. Friday, 26 degrees, rather cloudy and very warm. Saturday, 22, partly sunny, couple of showers in the morning, chance of some thunderstorms
Oh yeah, okay.
in the afternoon, as long as they're short. Okay. And Sunday, partly sunny, couple of showers. That'll do me.
It's typical download weather, isn't it?
It's always either raining or thundery. Even 2023, it was threatening, wasn't
You
it?
can go from literal thunder and lightning to blue skies in a fucking half an hour.
Yeah,
Um,
it looks a bit like
so
that.
that's
to
telling me just to take all types of footwear to prepare for everything. But fingers crossed.
Right, touch wood. From that, we're going to have some times where we are sat in the sun with
Yeah.
a beer, watching some great bands. It's not going to be wall-to-wall rain. We're going to have a couple of showers.
If you can sit on the ground and watch a band, you've probably bossed it.
Yeah,
I'll have to say.
just a spot of rain doesn't equal, it's not catastrophic.
No, my mate lives in Derby. Alex, who works on my team, he said it's been pretty dry for quite a period of time till the last week where it's been raining a
Yeah.
fair bit. He said, so even if it was torrential rain, you'd hope it wouldn't churn the ground up too much because it's rock solid.
Yeah, I think it probably needs maybe a dry day or two just to get it back to being rock solid. But yeah, it's not looking bad.
And it's mad because we stress about the weather, just like everybody else. And I think it's more to do with what you need to prep and stuff.
Yeah.
But we've done download in the absolute extremes now.
Yeah.
And you have just as good a time, regardless.
Oh, absolutely, man.
I'd probably say that the most difficult time was 23. I think it was when it was just too hot. I was really struggling.
It was survival mode.
It was. I got
times.
Sunstroke one of the days and definitely dehydrated. I didn't drink one of the days. Drink beer, I mean. Which is unlike us, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Not at festivals, not generally. 365 days a year.
Every day. We might as well be at the moment. But that's very interesting, that, mate. So hopefully, when you're listening to this, you're driving round with blue skies, your tunes on, all getting giddy. You know.
Absolutely. So we've got a couple of features to come up here. First, well, for a long time now, since 2012, I've been a member of the Download Festival forums. For me, it's the go-to place for accurate information, good bit of chat, a good laugh, and it's got a lot of good people there. And one of those good people is Chris Gilks, who is a member of the Fever Kings.
Yeah.
And the Fever Kings are an excellent band. I started listening to them because of Chris, but I also came across them. They were in the Kerrang competition and made the finals for that. I think I've got such a good singer.
Yeah.
Oh my
Brilliant.
God. I could listen to that voice all day.
Yeah.
And the band as a whole have got such a good kind of groovy, grungy kind of.
It does
sound.
remind me of Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, it's really, really good. But Chris got in touch because the Fever Kings are bringing out a new single shortly. I've enjoyed every single thing that they've released so far. But here are the Fever Kings to introduce their new single that's coming out.
This is the Lowdown Podcast.
Hey, this is Jack Songer from the Fever Kings. We are an alternative rock band from the northeast of England in Newcastle, and we have a brand new track out on the 25th of June, which we're very excited to share. The song itself is about those times where we feel heightened senses of emotion, and I guess it can be very uncomfortable for some people, so it's always important to remain calm and to breathe and just to think with as much clarity as possible. So hopefully a lot of people can relate to this song. It will be released after download, so hopefully it will help to cure some of the download blues that some people may be feeling. But we hope everybody is excited for Download Festival. We really hope to be there soon, one year. I know our drummer, Mr. Chris Gilks, is very excited to play this festival because he's been there many, many years and he's dreamt of it for so long. So hopefully we can make that dream come true. But until then, we really hope you enjoy all of the new music we have on the way. And yeah, we hope to see you soon.
This is the Lowdown Podcast.
So yeah, there we have it from the Fever Kings. So I really recommend listening to these. They are really, really good. I'm trying to think what their first song was called now, and it's because it's an absolute, let's say, a banger, if as the kids would say.
Well, no doubt they will be at download
Drown.
in the near future.
Drown is an absolute.
Yeah, that's one you sent me actually.
Yeah, they have got. I mean, they haven't got a bad song. Honestly, they haven't got a bad song. They're still, fairly young in their journey, and I think they could really go places. I've seen them doing a lot around the northeast, and they are planning to go elsewhere. Chris said he wants to come on at some point and talk about. I think we're all suffering a little bit from ticket prices, aren't we?
Yeah.
And Chris was saying about how difficult it is for up and coming bands. So he was going to say a little bit about you know, what's involved with planning tours.
Oh God,
The cost of
Yeah.
everything these days, why gig prices are going up so much, how hard it is for an up-and-coming band to actually get off the ground now without any sort of funding.
Yeah, must be really difficult. But yeah, it'd be good to get some insights there, mate.
Yeah.
And see how
And-
everyone can help.
And like I say, I've talked quite passionately for a long time about the Download Festival forums. I think they are, for me, the place to go for, you know, information beyond the download announcements. It's as close to, you know, gospel information as you're going to get.
Yeah.
And I've known two people there. Well, I've known a lot of people there for a lot of years, but two of the people that I've known for a long time there are John, known as Red Stripe on the forums, and Heather, known as Hevs, on the forums. They are both fantastic people from north of the border to us. Like I've said before, they are already on their Download Festival journey as we are recording this, so it's pretty hardcore, to be honest.
That's exciting, isn't it?
And Hevs is the boss in terms of the Download Festival takeover. I've said it several times that I think Download needs to do a little bit more in terms of unsigned acts, but the place where you're going to get the absolute cream of the crop, you know, the golden bands of the downloads of tomorrow, I think is the takeover.
Yeah, agreed.
We'll talk. I talked about it in detail with Hevs and John in an interview we did, and it was so lovely to catch up with them, talk to them in person actually for the first time. I really hope to run into them at the festival and meet them in person. But I think if you are heading to Download and it's Wednesday, if you listen to this on the Wednesday, get yourself to the takeover because it's a fantastic lineup. I was very
There's some huge bands in there, isn't there?
Oh, mate, one of the best. I made no secret about being a big fan of All the Years of Vow. After finding them, as I was honoured to be asked to be on the panel to select the lineup. So yeah, there's me and I think there's about 10 or 11 others on this panel.
Amazing, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and it was I mean, Hevs messaged me asking me if I wanted to be part of this panel again, and hopefully a more permanent role going forward. So
Amazing.
yeah, thanks very much for that, and thanks for joining us for an interview. So we're going to sign off with this as our kind of headline feature for the episode, the headliner of the Lowdown podcast. So this is a weird feeling, man, because we started this in September, me and you talking to each other. We've gone through various little ways of recording. We started out, where did we do the first one? Was it?
I think we did the first one in here.
In here, didn't we?
We did it with a extremely expensive overhead mic because that's all we had.
Yeah. From Johnny's time in bands, but it wasn't the right type of mic, was it?
It was way too sensitive.
Yeah.
We had that, but it worked well, and just remember how fucking nervous were we doing it.
Every single... I think you've said it lately. It was almost wanting it to be perfect all the time.
Yeah.
Rather than just running with
and if we
daft
made
mistake.
if we made a mistake or whatever, we're like, do we stop and do we cut that? And then we were like,
yeah.
Do you know what? It's just us. It's just us.
That's how we are
That's
as
how we
people.
are.
And that's, if you want to listen to this is what you get. But yeah, then we recorded at your dad's, didn't we?
We
in his
did in the
little
hut. That was good
hut.
fun. That was to record the penalty shootout episode, which we'll be revealing the results of that.
So our penalty
live on
shootout,
Thursday.
thanks to Josh for suggesting our forfeit. So he suggested a forfeit that we're doing a version of.
Yeah.
Due to our some rules we have in the community, so we say we can't do the one Josh suggested.
Yeah.
So we're doing a version of it, and it's still pretty fucking extreme for me. So the loser of the penalty shootout will have to wear a certain attire for the Friday. So we'll reveal more in the live set, and then the loser will have to wear this for pretty much the entirety of the Friday. I think until it gets too bloody cold.
Yeah,
That's going to be the top and bottom of it. But it's been a hell of a journey, mate.
Oh man, it's been incredible.
Have to
It's
do it.
so weird. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Honestly, absolute best. It does feel quite emotional, a bit strange, really. It's something we've spoke about every fucking day, haven't we?
Yeah.
Every day without fail. So probably our wives.
Yeah.
And I get annoyed at that, but it's been an absolute blast so far.
It has. And I
we've
think
met and connected with so many incredible people just through the podcast.
Yeah.
The people that we've interviewed, the people that have been commenting and liking and sharing, and the amount of instant messages we get is incredible. And so
yeah, we appreciate it so
huge
much.
thanks to you guys feeling comfortable enough that you think
Well, we've said
there's
it.
a
we
message,
don't-
which absolutely right. It's just
Yeah, we don't want to just kind of scratch at the surface of Download and look at the bands and things
Yeah.
like that. We do that as well, but we want to look at every little corner of Download in terms of the people that go, the people that make it happen, and just get that vibe across of why we love this festival as much as we do,
Yeah.
because we do.
oh yeah,
And it's been, I mean, I'd almost say there's probably better festivals,
yeah, it probably is.
and probably better festivals in terms of the way they're ran, in terms of what's available to you. But I don't think there's a festival that feels like
No, I
Download.
agree. I totally agree.
I
mate.
think that's what sets Download apart, and that's you people that listen to this, you people that go every year to Download and make it the community that it is. Because once that changes, then Download isn't Download
Yeah,
anymore.
absolutely.
And it doesn't matter who the bands they book if the people that go
Yeah.
and the Download community,
Yeah,
it
agreed.
becomes a totally different place.
Yeah, it's really surprised me how much goes on outside of the formal Download
Yeah,
coordination and management.
yeah,
When you think about the forums
Yep.
and heavy metal therapy and the takedown and everything, a lot of these people are doing
Yeah.
it off their own backs in their own free time.
Yeah,
purely
well-
because they feel so passionate
Exactly,
about the
yeah.
festival, and that's what we want to shine a light on. Because the Download formal team get that shining light over the 5 days that we're there.
Yeah.
But those other 360 days of the year,
Oh man, yeah.
it's insane the amount of effort people put in.
Well, we look at all the admin people
Yeah.
that run the girls' groups. You've got the Access team, the Access Facebook group people that
Yeah.
give that bridging. So we've obviously talked to Ree before, that give that bridge between the customers and the official team. But I don't think an official team can look at it with the passion of someone like Ree.
No, absolutely not. No.
People like that, Trish, Siobhan, Adam, Lee, Laura, Kitty. I could just shout so many people out, and they're some of the people that make this festival what it is, because it isn't. They get involved in a way that isn't business driven.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that's the
Yeah,
word
yeah,
I'm looking
exactly.
for.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
They're doing it out of passion. They're doing it out of care, and they do it because they want to make people's experience like we do. We want to make people's experience of Download what we love.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we've always done that. We've always done that when we've invited new people.
Yeah,
be
exactly.
it my dad, be it
Yeah.
Drew, be it this wide group of friends that we've now got at Download. We want those people to feel about it like we do.
That's why we feel the pressure sometimes.
Yeah.
Because we love it so much, and like I said, we go every year, don't we? And we do a bloody podcast about it.
Yeah.
We want them to feel as proud of it like we do. So,
Yeah. So, like we said, Hevs and John are two of those people that that graft for no monetary gain,
No.
for just the sake of making Download a great place, and we love them for it. And we'll hand over for the last time before Download 2025.
Fucking hell,
We've done
yeah.
it, man. The next thing we've got to do is a live set. So we're going to try and plan that a bit now and panic slightly, but over to Hevs and John, and me, because I was in it as well. But yeah, that's us. Thanks, Johnny.
And we'll see you in the fucking field at Download.
Yeah.
Man, brilliant.
Brilliant.
Feel like a high five's needed.
Yeah, man.
Let's go. See you there.
See you there.
This is the Lowdown Podcast.
So, welcome back, everybody. And for the next part of this Journey to Download special, we are joined by Heather, and we're also by John Todd, who's known to many of you as Red Stripe on the Download forums. So hello both.
Yeah.
Hello.
So not long to go now. What day will you be there already? If this comes out, do you travel down on the Tuesday?
Yeah, we
Essentially,
do. Yeah,
travel starts on the Monday.
yeah. Well, it starts on a Sunday for me.
Well,
That's
Um,
now Sunday now.
When on Sunday the 8th, when I go and pick John up, so that he can come and crash at my house for the night.
right.
And then on the Monday we drive down to Nottingham, where we join up with the lovely Trish, and we spend the night with her, and then we go on site on Tuesday,
Wow.
get our tents up, make sure we're all organised for our events, and just chill out,
Yeah.
have some drinks, and wait for the madness to start.
So you so we'll talk first about Hevs. So a quick introduction to you. So you do a lot of roles for the Download community, for the Download team. So just give us a little bit of a background about yourself and Download Festival.
Gosh, so I think I started. Well, I was going to Donington Park when it was Monsters of Rock. So yeah, I am that old. Started going to Download Festival. I think the first year it was 2006 or 2007. Joined the forums in 2009. Once I discovered them, and that was the first year that we had ever heard of the takeover. It was the first year we actually ever had it, and it used to be ran by a couple called Carrie and Phil, and they used to run the Download forums. They moderated the Download forums with a couple of their friends, and at that point in 2009, they set up the takeover. But I'll tell you a bit more about that in a minute. But we also, as well as admin in the forums, Trish and myself and John and our friend Eamon, we organise the RIP quiz and RIP every year. And we organise what used to be the Bordy barbecue. Well, it kind of still is to an extent, but it's not the same. It doesn't kind of look the same anymore. But we organise all of that as well, and a meet and greet with the Live Nation team that run Download.
Yeah.
As well as moderating the couple of the big Download Facebook groups
I
as
don't know
well.
how you do it. I honestly
Yeah,
don't.
I know it's insane. Yeah, it's nuts. So yeah, so I've been on the mod team for the Download forum since 2010. Trish has been doing it the same length of time as myself because she joined the admin team at the same time. And then we invited John and Eamon to help us admin the forums. When was it, John?
Yeah,
Couple of years.
2022, 23?
22, yeah, because we
22, I think, yeah.
we just felt that we needed a bit of help on the forums with it. And John and Eamon were fantastic candidates because we'd known them for so long and trusted them to do a good job. But yeah, so that's pretty much all the stuff that we do. So it's like having a second job for part of the year.
Yeah. It takes
Yeah.
a lot. I imagine it takes quite a lot of running.
It does, yeah. It does, yeah.
So, John, how about yourself and Download Festival? I know you joined, like you say, the admin team a couple of years back, but what about before that?
Yeah. My story's fairly similar to Hev's. Yeah, Download 2009 was actually my first download. So my girlfriend at the time, she actually joined the forum and got me to join on the back of her. So that's how I got started in there and didn't post for weeks. And these days you can't stop me posting. So, but yeah, I've been, I help admin the big Facebook group as well, along with Hevs. So yeah, I don't really have much to add to what Hevs has already said about me.
So you're both very busy keeping the
Did it all for me?
keeping us all in line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, trying to.
We try. Yeah, we did try.
Well, you kind of, as admins, sometimes you're in a bit of a thankless position, aren't you? Because you guys are making sure the right information shared. You know, as well as us all behaving ourselves as well. But it's such a minefield in terms of if people get the wrong information, then you're just going to spoil their weekend. You're going to make things more difficult for everybody. So you've got a big role to play in making people
We've all been going that long that we've got a fair idea of what's happening these days. So we do try, and if we see anything that's incorrect, we do try and correct it. Obviously, people don't always take that well because they know better. But yeah, we do try and keep it as level as we can.
Yeah, we do, and it's good having us as that bridge between Live Nation and the community, and we have direct contact with several of the team at Live Nation that are heavily involved in running Download Festival.
Yeah,
and Trish and I have regular meetings with them on Teams, and just make them aware of any issues that we're seeing across the forums and the Facebook groups, and get answers to questions. And we email quite consistently, not all year round, but kind of from probably around about October-ish right up to the start of the festival. We email them a lot more, and we'll see things, particularly on the Facebook groups, where the misinformation is more rife than it is on the forums, because most people on the forums have been on the forums for a while and they know the score. Yeah. But we'll pick up on things that they're saying about, tickets and Ticketmaster and what they can and can't bring and stuff like that, and any confusion that's been caused by anything that Live Nation have put out, so that they can correct it. But yeah, it's good to have that, that us as that bridge between Live Nation and the community to make sure that we're getting the right information out there and people are organised and can have the best weekend.
Yeah, because I suppose the team themselves, they can't be in and amongst the Facebook groups all the time. So if they're getting that sort of liaison, then it's going to make it much simpler for them in the long run. So it'll be invaluable for them as well as us. So
it is, yeah. I mean, they are there in the background in a lot of these groups. People just don't know it. They don't know who they are, because we'll very often go to a meeting and somebody will say, "Oh, I saw on the Facebook group," and because they do jump in and out just to sort of keep an eye on the community and what the lowdown is and what the trends are and things like that. But yeah, they rely on Trish and I, and then that allows us to go back to people and say, right, okay, so we've asked the team, we're waiting for an answer, and then go back to them saying, right, this is the answer that we've got. So yeah, it's really helpful.
Yeah,
for everybody.
No, that's great. So the takeover. So you alluded to it a little bit about because it was originally, of course, the Bawdy takeover. That was the official title for many years. Yeah. So how did that come to start? What's your knowledge of that? Because I'm guessing you weren't involved in the first ones, but you know.
So I was.
Oh, you were.
To an extent,
of course, yeah.
2009, Carrie and Phil, I think Live Nation had said to them, "We've got this big tent in the village, what's now called District X. We've got this big tent in the village. There's nothing happening on it on the Thursday night. It's empty. Do something with it." So Carrie and Phil decided to ask on the forums if there was anybody within the community that had a talent they would like to share at Download. And it was actually my friend Liz who messaged Phil and said, "Yeah, my mate Heather can sing." Because at the time I was singing in a wedding band, and I used to do like talent competition. I used to sing in a band when I was in my much younger days, in a metal band when I was about 17, 18. And I sang for so many years, and they messaged me and they said, "Oh, would you be interested in taking part in this?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, that sounds like fun." So I did it. It was in 2009. I think that the lineup was two bands, two solo singers. I was one of them. A comedian. And a burlesque dancer, a girl that did burlesque. Right. And she was very popular. So it was a very different beast to what it is now. And the tent wasn't anywhere near as big as it is. It was the old third stage tent that we had in the village at that point.
Yeah.
And we went on that. I sang two songs to a backing track. I was really nervous. It was like really intimidating because I was used to singing in front of people at weddings, like grannies and grandpas and mums and dads and kids and you know, stuff like that. And here I was on stage singing in front of a group of effectively what was my peers. So yeah, I was a bit nervous, but it was fun. And there is a video of it kicking about somewhere. Although I'm not going to tell you how to find it. There is a video in existence, so it's out there somewhere. But yeah, it was fun. So I did that, and that's effectively how I met Carrie and Phil. And you know, we became friends, and you know, we added each other on Facebook and whatnot. And then the next year, because they knew I did a bit of photography, they asked me back and asked me if I would take photos of the bands. And I did that. I did the photography for the bands for a number of years.
Wow.
And all my photographs would be used on the, you know, the forums and the websites and the reviews and things like that, because at that time they would hire a photographer and a reviewer, so that somebody could take the photographs and somebody could do the write-ups of the bands. So I did that for a number of years, and then Phil asked me one year, do you want to try and help us pick the bands? Because we'd gone from that first year saying, does anybody want to play on this stage, to a couple of years to saying to bands, do you want to come and play this stage? To actually having bands then say, can we play this stage? And I think that first year when he asked me, we had about 50 bands that wanted to play it. They'd obviously heard about it, they knew about it. So 50 bands had reached out. We hadn't even advertised it. They just reached out and said, "Oh, is there any chance we can play this?" And Phil said to me, "Do you want to come and help me pick the bands that are going to play?" So I did, and I really really enjoyed that. And so he asked me again the following year when there was like 75 bands had mentioned it in the forums. It kind of gone up a little bit, and then a number of years later, Phil and Carrie decided that they were stepping down from the forums because they felt that, you know, it was not something that they wanted to take responsibility for anymore. And at that point, Phil said to me, "Right, here's the takeover, have it, it's yours, do what you want with it." And I've been running it ever since. And one of the primary reasons I'd said to Trish about John joining us as an admin for the forums because I wanted to bring John in on the takeover a bit more.
Yeah.
Because it's gotten to the point now where we have hundreds and hundreds of bands applying to play it every year, and it's just such a mammoth task that it was just getting a bit too much for me on my own. And that's one of the reasons why John was brought on board, because we know John. I've known John for a long time. Trish has known him for a long time, and we know we can trust him to, you know, be impartial and be fair. Yeah. And yeah, we've been doing it together ever since, and it's grown, and we've had to put rules in place, and we've had to put, you know, the Facebook page up. Although our first Facebook page was removed by Facebook for some unknown reason, we still don't know why.
Yeah,
but,
I remember.
Thought we were trying to sell something.
Yeah, I don't know what they thought. I couldn't make any sense, but I could not, no matter what I did, could not get anybody at Facebook to respond to me. And we had, God, how many followers did we have on that Facebook group, John? We had loads, thousands, didn't we?
It was 11,000.
11,000 followers.
11,000 followers we had on that page.
And we had to start all over again because they just refused to communicate with me, which is nonsense. So yeah, we had to start again with the Facebook page, but it doesn't really seem to have put a dent in the amount of bands that are applying.
No.
There was slightly less bands applied this year than did the year before, but not by a great deal.
Was it over 300, wasn't it?
I think there was 370 something.
360 odd.
360 odd
Something
bands,
like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Whereas last year it was more than that, but that's still a lot, and it's still a lot of bands for us to go through.
Yeah.
And it's still a lot of bands for the panel to go through. And I put the panel in place because it had gotten to a point where I didn't want to be accused of just putting on 5 of Hevsy's favourite bands at the bands that applied, and I just felt that was really unfair. So we put the panel in place. The panel's been running for years now, actually. And we asked like maybe a dozen people to join the panel and listen to the bands and make short lists, and you know, so that we had a breadth of experience, because we have people from the industry, people that run podcasts like yourself, and we've got fans, people that go download regularly, just really big music fans. And we thought if we've got people with lots of different tastes and things like that, then we can make it fairer. So yeah, we put that process in place, and it seems to work. It seems to work quite well.
It does, because it's quite. I can't wait until the discussions start. I think that the point where you go, right, have at it. I think it's such a fun time to be on Facebook, and little not arguments, but little disagreements, and some people are passionately backing some bands, and some people aren't so sure but get run around. It's really cool.
Very guilty of being quite forceful, in my opinion, sometimes.
Yes.
Yes. But it's actually this year it went so much more smoothly. No arguments, no nothing. Because I think this year, like the 9 that we had in the final shortlist were just universally picked by everybody. So it was always going to be a mixture of those 9, and I think that's how it's turned out this year. But like it was not last year, but the year before, Heather and I had an actual set 2. And went on for days.
Like, yeah. I don't submit. I don't, as the organizer for the takeover, I don't submit a shortlist, but John and Trish and Eamon do. I don't, because I like to remain completely impartial. And whilst I will give an opinion on the bands on the secret Facebook group that we have, at that stage, but before that, I don't really, I've got bands that I like, and I can see bands and I'm like, I think they might be a really good shot. But I don't provide a short list as such. But at that stage, when you guys are all in the super secret takeover bunker, as we call it, I'll sometimes come in and give an opinion, and sometimes I'll sit and I'll read the comments and I'll go, what? What the hell? How can you not like these guys? Or what the hell? What do you like about these guys? It's and it's all just down to different tastes and stuff. But we tend to go with the majority. But it can get quite heated. But yeah, John and I have had moments where we've disagreed.
I had a disagreement with Trish. I had a disagreement with Trish in about the 2020 lineup, and that was about one of the bands, and she was passionately against one that I was passionately for. But yeah, it's all good fun, isn't it?
It's all fun though, and everybody leaves after it, all friends and all really proud of what they've done and really happy with the lineup. I've never had a year where a panel's went, oh my god, no, that lineup's crap. Yeah. I've never had a year where, because I'll ask for suggestions for people to give a running order, although that is ultimately my final decision. Yeah. And I don't know, I'll sit and I'll listen to the bands in different orders. I'll make little Spotify lists with all the bands in different positions. I'll know pretty much we all know who wants the headline, because that's usually pretty unanimous.
You can generally tell very early on who's going to be headlining.
You can tell early on who's, and it's not necessarily. We've had years where bands applied for several years in a row and not got through, and then the third or fourth time they've applied, they've gone straight into headline slot. Yeah. Because bands improve, bands develop, they improve their style and stuff, and sometimes the panel that you have that year just particularly likes that particular band. We've had that in the past. But yeah, the running order, I think usually, and some this year especially, I think I was looking at the running order suggestions and I was like, what? I was like, what? But I don't think the guys in the panel are looking at it with the same eyes that I am. No. Do you know? No. And I'm doing a lot of digging about in the back in their Facebook pages and their Twitter pages and their Instagrams
the venues
and their followers and Spotify's and the venues they've played and stuff. And that's not necessarily something the panel is going to go looking for. But yeah, so the lineups for the end have always been pretty spot on, I think. And everybody's been quite happy with it. I've never had anybody come back and say, "No, I'm not happy with that final lineup or that final."
No, I think when you see it laid out, it starts to make a lot more sense. And you start, and I said this to Johnny on the episode where we talked about the takeover. Mm-hmm. It's very much about just keeping the levels right of energy. Mm-hmm. So it's the right band after the right band. Otherwise
it is, because you want to build it. You want to build it because it's not the main festival. It's not. It's a very captive audience. You don't have 3 or 4 other stages that people can go to if they don't like a band. It's
Yeah.
one stage on the what is now the Wednesday night, because we changed that a number of years ago, and they've got a completely captive audience, so it's really good. And people have just arrived at the festival, they've just pitched their tents, they've just grabbed a beer, they're really eager to party, they really want to get their weekend started, they want to be entertained, they want to listen to bands, and being able to give them that on the Wednesday as soon as they arrive, you have to have that right balance of the build up. You know, that there has to be a party band, you know, getting things kicked off, and then it needs to build from there up to, you know, the really sort of bigger bands at the end of the evening, which are, you know, and I think we've got the mix right so far.
Yeah.
Every
So
year.
we'll have a quick chat about the lineup then, if that's quite a good
Yeah,
segue.
absolutely. Yeah.
I think, like you say, that party band to start off with, I think is about.
Oh, they're awesome. I love
they're
them.
just that, aren't they?
Do you know, it's her voice. I absolutely love her voice, and I love her look as well. She's just so cool.
She does look
cool. I really liked them when we were listening to the original submissions. They really stood out to me because they sound a bit different to other bands in the submissions, and they're a bit unique. They are kind of like a party band, but they're not a total party band, because they do have an element of, you know, sort of punk, sort of pop, sort of.
Yeah, grit your teeth. They've got a mix of the grit your teeth riffs and then a good smirk and a smile at the other side of it.
They don't take themselves too seriously, but they take themselves seriously enough.
Yeah.
You know, and they've, ever since we announced them, there's been so much good feedback from people going, "Oh, I love these guys. Oh, I've heard these guys. These guys are brilliant." And I had never heard of them before until they applied. So they were a completely new band to me, but they're on my Spotify now. And I do listen to them. But yeah, I just love their overall feel. And I think they're going to go down a storm. I think they're the perfect band to open up the stage and just get everybody.
When we got the big playlist and we started going through the bands, they were the very first one that I went, "Oh, these have got a chance of playing."
Yeah.
Because it's just so catchy, and you know it will get people having a dance.
Mm-hmm.
And
Definitely.
you know that's what you want at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the Wednesday. You want to get your weekend started with a boogie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I know I do.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you've arrived that day on the Wednesday. If you're listening to this now on the Wednesday, you'll be pitching up your tent, and you'll start having them first couple of cans, and you need something to bring that energy right the way up to get that party started.
Yeah,
so
definitely,
for that. And then we take things a little bit heavier, don't we? With Collapse the Sky.
Oh yeah, love these guys. Yeah. Really
I was really impressed with their overall sort of grasp of who they are, if that makes sense. They knew exactly what they wanted to do with their some real aggression and some real polished musicianship as well. I thought these were a real standout for me.
Yeah, they're so tight. One of the things that stood out about them on their live submission was how put together they are, and how in sync with each other they are, but it's that. And I know most bands play well together, and but they're on another level to me.
You're right enough. I mean, for a band as new as they are, they shouldn't be that tight, but they absolutely are.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see them as well.
Yeah.
There's going to be a theme here with all of these bands where I can't wait to see them.
Another thing I said on the last one, these are the cream of the crop of nearly 400 bands. So it's not, you can't just wander into the takeover. It's probably one of the most scrutinized lineups on the whole bill.
Probably, yeah, absolutely. And they'll have been listened to dozens and dozens and dozens of times. Because the panel just doesn't, you know yourself, the guys don't listen to the song just once.
No,
they'll listen to that song. Oh, especially in as the bands that are left start to come down and down and down, and you get down to that last 20 odd bands, and you get down to that last 9 bands, you're going to go back and listen to them again and again and again. But yeah, they're a very good band. And I think they're from, is it North? They're not from Norfolk, I think. Yeah. So yeah, they're really, really, really good. I love them. I can't wait to go crazy to these guys.
So we go from heavy to quite punky, raucous, and riffy. I think for the next one, which is Change Persona. And so I think fans of bands like Rise Against, The Offspring, will be right at home with these. They've got a lot of energy about these.
Yeah, they remind me an awful lot of Strung Out. Just the guy's vocal style. It's so much like the guy in Strung Out. It is unreal, and absolutely adore Strung Out. So when I heard them, I was just like, yeah, can we get these playing, please?
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, there's a lot of rawness about it, but I think that's what I really love about them.
Yeah, they were very popular. They were very popular with the panel. Very popular.
So again,
and you know, they seem to put a lot of energy into the live show as well. So yeah, I really can't wait.
Yeah, I think. So 3 bands and 3 sort of distinct styles there. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then I think, talking of style, I don't think there's anyone that outdoes the next band, and that is Dakara. And I think I'm pronouncing that right. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's how I pronounce it anyway.
Yeah, because that's how I've been pronouncing it.
I've been pronouncing it, so yeah, I hope it's not wrong. That'll be embarrassing.
These have got one of the most distinct aesthetics I've seen in a band in a long time. They have
They
really
have,
got it.
haven't they?
Yeah,
and I think that's a deliberate thing as well. Very much a deliberate thing. I think they have. I'm sure they have an artist that created all of that for them.
Yeah.
That look. But it's very unique. Very. So it reminds me, it's very sci-fi to me.
Yeah.
But sorry, my dog's just. What was that, Neve? What was that? You like Dakara? She likes me. She said, yeah. But yeah, it's kind of. So it's really weird to describe, but it's kind of like sci-fi, but it's not. It's kind of like old sci-fi. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit of comic booky kind of
stuff. Yeah, it's kind of and all the green stuff that goes through it. And this is another band where I just think the female vocals are absolutely outstanding. You know, her voice is so good. But she's also got a really unique look about her as well. Yeah. And I just love her overall, the overall package with her and with the band, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys bring to the stage.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite a commanding performance, this one. It's a real front person and a lot of good ideas. Are we going to get some green lights? I think that was one that Johnny asked. We'll have to get some.
We might, we might. And they played a couple of years ago. They actually played with one of our other bands who played the Takeover, North Atlas.
Oh, right, okay.
They toured with them in 2023. They played, I think it was Rebellion in Manchester. They played with North Atlas, and North Atlas just seem to be popping up everywhere just now. They're going out on tour with everybody, you know, and it's not uncommon to find a couple of Takeover bands out on tour together. to be fair, but yeah, they've. I'm really looking forward to seeing these guys. It's I think they're a lot more popular than we thought they were, because again, it's a band I've never heard of.
It's one of the ones that got commented on most when I put our reels and things out. A lot of people went, "Oh, I can't believe Dakara are there. That's going to be awesome." So
yeah, I know. I saw that a lot on the Takeover Facebook group. I'm so happy, and on Dakara's Facebook page as well. I'm so happy these guys are playing. They're going to be brilliant. And I was like, "Oh, these guys are a lot more popular than you know I was anticipating." But that's a good thing. You know, it's good. It's good for them, and hopefully the Takeover will bring them a new fan base. And they'll go away from it with more fans than they came into it. So that's the idea, isn't it? That's why we do it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting them as well, because they do look like, you know, they do look like an interesting bunch. So yeah, I'm looking forward to saying hi to them.
So we're moving on to our sub-headliners, and we've got 2-year break. And these, I really enjoyed them, and then I didn't realise just how, you know, they're really getting a big fan base going.
They are.
They are, yeah. Yeah.
They've come close to getting on the Takeover a few times now.
Yeah.
I think they've hit the shortlist just about every year for the last 3-4 years.
3 or 4 years, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's just been bad luck that they haven't made it. So this year it was definitely going to be their year. And I can't wait to see them. It's a little more slick pop stuff than we usually have.
Yeah, a lot of electronic sort of bits as well. And
yeah, like if Enter Shikari met Busted type thing.
Yeah, it's exactly like that, John. That's a good comparison.
Very good.
That's excellent. That's exactly what it is.
I think they pull it off really, really well. I think it's going to be by that time again, people they'll start to have a few beers in them. So you know the dancing will definitely be coming out at that point. So I think that tent's going to be buzzing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, because the more alcohol they get, the more metal fans realise that they like this kind of music and they want to bop to it. And I don't care how many of them deny it.
Oh no, the mask starts to slip, doesn't it?
I have been to enough club nights where they've put on some pop rock and there's been some hardcore like death metal fans on the dance floor bouncing around. I know they secretly love it.
Look at the reaction to the Venga Boys this year.
Exactly. I know, and I mean, I know there's been some negativity, but the vast majority,
mainly from John.
Yeah, John has been, John has been actually quite muted when it comes to talking about it because he's like, I better not say too much because some of our friends are hugely into these guys, you know, and then the Venga Boys are dying to go see them, but yeah. John will be dancing.
Yeah, it's a conversation for another time, that one, isn't it?
I'll drag him in. Drag him up.
I'm just going to get full of rum and shake my ass at it anyway.
It's fine. But yeah, 2 year break, as John said, they've tried repeatedly, and they have been like a ball head away for being on that stage. Yeah. It's literally at some years come down to them and another band getting the last slot. And they've missed out like 3 or 4 times now. And I am absolutely gutted for them every single year because it's not my decision. I can't just turn around and say, no, I'm putting these guys on because that's not how the process works and that's not fairness then. That's me just picking a band that I absolutely love. And I've actually been a fan of 2 Year Break since before they applied for the takeover. And their manager, Marianne, has had a couple of bands play the takeover now. We tend to find that managers who've got really large pools of bands on their books have maybe had more than one band play the takeover over the years, and Marianne is one of them. She manages Crushed by Waves as well, who played, and she managed another band. I can't remember the name of them. I've got a terrible memory, by the way, unless I've got it all written down in front of me. I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, I think this is her third band that she's had playing the takeover, and I didn't, even though I'd liked them for so long, I didn't realise that she was her manager when they started applying. But yeah, they applied again this year, and John and I were like fingers crossed because we really like them. We think they absolutely deserve it. And I was literally at some points biting my nails watching you guys all talk about these bands. And anytime somebody popped up and went, nah, they're not doing it for me, I was like, no, listen, stop it, they're brilliant.
No, and that's important to say because I had no idea of any of this. So as being in that secret Facebook group, you guys didn't influence that at all.
No, we don't. No, we tend to just we do try and keep the conversation flowing, and we will ask questions. You know, if somebody says, "Oh, I don't like these," well, why don't you like them? Or, I love these guys. Well, what do you like about them? And the less fans that are in it, the more we'll sort of try and encourage people to talk about it and really think about what is the band can bring to the takeover. Not just, and I keep saying to people, it's not just about who you like. Because we can put on 5-6 bands that everybody on the panel likes, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a great lineup because there's other things we need to take into consideration, do you know? And it's really about getting you guys to think about it and really dig deep and stay impartial. And it might be it comes down to choosing a band that you don't like over a band that you do like because they're more suited. They're better at what they do. You know, they're more bouncy. They're more suited and.
Yeah,
you know, it's not necessarily what you like. That early stages of making, that's when you pick all the bands that you like. Oh, I love these guys. Do you know? But yeah, it gets a bit more difficult when you get down to the fewer bands. And I think at one point when we were doing when I asked everybody to give me their top 6 bands that they would put on, and then I started adding up how many people had mentioned a particular band, it was touch and go for a wee bit there for 2 Year Break. And I was like, oh God, please don't let this happen to them again. And then the last 4 or 5 like lists came in, and they were on them all, and I was like, phew! I was like, fucking bloody hell, man, that was close. But yeah, I was still absolutely delighted for them that they got picked to go through this year, and I am so looking forward. I've warned Marianne that I am going to fangirl out of my mind when I meet them. because I've liked them for a long time. I've liked them for a long time. And I was like, you'll have to excuse me if I run away and hide, because I'm just going to be like fangirl. And I'm not the only one that does that, by the way, because Trish has done it a few times as well. Trish absolutely fangirls some of the bands that she's like, that's got through, particularly the headliners. Trish is like, oh my god, I'm totally fangirling. Because it's great being able to meet these bands. It's such an honour.
You might even bump into the Venga Boys this year.
That would be so fun. That would be amazing. I love that. That would be fab. But yeah, it's cool being backstage with the bands, and I've made a lot of really good friends with some of these guys, some of these bands out of it, and I've got literally hundreds of band members on my Facebook. And it's great to see them, because it's great to follow them and see how they're doing and see what they're up to. And I remember one band in particular, Cabin Boy Jump Ship, who opened the takeover one year to probably one of the biggest opening audiences we've ever had, because Connor, the lead vocalist for Cabin Boy Jump Ship, he is like an absolute marketing guru. He runs his own business as well, so he kind of knows what he's doing, and he had marketed the living shit out of it. And loads of people showed up for their opening set, and I think it was up to that point, it was the biggest opening crowd we'd ever had. But they've gone on they've toured overseas, they've toured with other bands, and it's been great to watch them, developing and progressing and with their band. It's just such a nice thing to see, and I love seeing that with all the bands. And anytime any of them shoot through Glasgow, John and I try and get in to see them, just to say hi and support them. So it's really good.
So we ramp up the day with the headliner, and I think for me at least, it was quite obvious that these guys would be very close to, if not at the top of the bill, and that's Exist Immortal.
Yeah.
I think the vocalists are on, absolutely.
It's like I was saying earlier on, he's incredible, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's like I was saying earlier on, you when you're going through the list, you tend to get impressions about who's going to be at least in the in the running. When Exist Immortal came on, I was like, these are probably going to headline almost straight away, because sometimes you can just tell, and they've got everything about them. They've got the riffs, like we were saying. The guys' vocals are unbelievable. They've got the songs. It's not just like the bits and pieces. The songs are all great as well. So it's just like, as soon as it came on, I was like, they're definitely playing, and they're probably going to headline.
Yeah, definitely. I think after you've been doing this for a number of years, like what we do at the Takeover, you get a feel for it. And I was the same the first time I heard them, because I do go through all the bands that submit. But the first time I heard them, I was like, oh my god, these guys are absolutely incredible. I can definitely see them in a lot of shortlists, and I can see them getting through and potentially headlining. As John said, his voice is just, that's one of the, I haven't been a vocalist myself. I'm very influenced by vocalists in bands, and he just really, I love his the sound of his voice, the texture of his voice. He's got such a beautiful voice. And I love the fact that they're kind of like metal and sort of metalcore, and it's very technical music as well.
Yes.
But they've also got a little bit of pop kind of showing in there as well. And it's such if somebody said to you, oh, this band are metalcore, and they've got pop influences as well, you'd be like, what? But it works. It works for them.
There's progressive stuff in there. There's, like you say, technical metal as well.
So many different blends of styles in there, which I just absolutely love. And I particularly love the guitars as well. The guitar sounds, I could probably just listen to those guitars on their own quite happily. I think their guitarist, what's his name? Kurt, I think his name is. He's absolutely outstanding. He's just such a talented guitarist. They're all super talented, but what they do as a band together is just, it's way out there. And I really would love to see these guys go way further in their career. I would love to see, I would love to see all the bands that have played the Takeover on the main stage at some point. But Some bands
Yeah.
really speak. Some bands you go, oh yeah, they really deserve it. And these guys are one of those bands that just you can just see they've played Bloodstock.
Yeah, if anyone hasn't seen that Bloodstock set, it's on YouTube from the
Yeah.
new Blood stage at Bloodstock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
they
it is
played last year, didn't they?
absolutely outstanding.
It's an outstanding set. Yeah. You know, another band that's a regular on my Spotify now. Can't wait to see them. I think they're going to pull a massive crowd. I really, really do think they're going to pull a huge crowd. Maybe potentially one of the biggest crowds we've ever had. And that tent is enormous.
It's massive now,
The
isn't
tent
it?
that we've got now is
It's
absolutely massive.
huge, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I wouldn't surprise me at all if they filled it to the brim.
How big is it? I asked this a few weeks ago actually, but we didn't. We didn't. Know.
I don't actually know because I've never actually asked, but I can't even remember how many people the third stage, the old third stage tent used to hold. But we've had bands.
I think the old third stage held 3,000.
Yeah, about 3,000. So I reckon that stage we've got just now is probably closer to about 4.5, 5.
Yeah, I was thinking 4.5, 5.
You know, and it's very open-sided as well because it's like it's all down all the sides, and at the back it's all open.
Yeah.
So you could you know you could get like a lot more people like standing outside the tent as well. But yeah, I think it's easily 4.5, 5,000 people tent, that one. It's pretty massive, and I have seen opening bands on our stage have bigger audiences than some of the opening bands in the main arena.
Yeah.
And I know, like I said before, it's a captive audience, but you can't force people to come and watch bands.
No, you can still sit at your tent and drink beer.
There's bars open, there's the whole seated area, there's things going on, there's shops that are open, there's a whole bunch of other stuff to be doing.
Yeah, there's a lot more now than there will have been in them first times. I was thinking that when you said about the early days and there being burlesque dancers, you almost had everything that's spread out all over now in one little place.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. And I really hope that these guys get the biggest audience that we can get
deserved
for them, because really, really they all deserve a big crowd. But yeah, the headliners always naturally pull a bigger crowd. Like it reflects what happens in the main arena. The earlier bands have a slightly smaller crowd, and the headliners always have a bigger crowd. And it always blows their minds because it's often, and it surprises me every single year when the headliner band are going on, they look out at the crowd and they go, shit, shit, oh my god, look at all those people, because a lot of these bands have never played in front of crowds this size before, and it can be quite overwhelming for them, but they go out and they play and they do their thing and they have an absolute blast, and they come off and they're just absolutely high as kites.
I think every single one of them that we've had, well, they might not have played to these size of crowds before, they always raise their game. Every single one of them.
Yeah, they always go out there and they just up it a couple of notches. Because I think the fact that so many people have come to see them just gives them such a buzz, and it really impacts them, and they just go for it. But what I love even better than the bands going on is the bands coming off. And it's where I'm always kind of standing at the backstage bit at the ramp waiting for them to come off, and they come off and they've got the hugest smiles on their faces and they're sweating, they're absolutely dripping with sweat, especially the drummers. And it's always the drummers that want to hug me for some reason. But they come out and they're like, oh my god, that was amazing. Do you know, and they're absolutely buzzing because they've just played in front of a download crowd, and it's like the dream for a lot of these bands. And you know, it might not be the main arena, but to them it doesn't make a difference, and to us it doesn't make a difference either. As far as we're concerned, they're still playing download. And I've had that argument with people in the past. I've saw people on Facebook go, oh, but they're not really playing download because they're just playing the Village. Bullshit. These guys are playing download, and that is the end of it.
That's it. Me and Johnny are claiming for the Courtyard stage. So
yeah. So you're playing downloads. Yeah, you're playing download as well. So yeah,
I claimed it for the karaoke last year in background.
Oh god, no! Did you? I missed it. Damn.
Print some T-shirts.
Yeah, you might find me the karaoke this year actually.
Yeah,
yeah, it'll be cool. But no, we'll try and come round and catch you guys. When are you guys on?
Thanks. We are on Thursday at 1:00.
Thursday at 1:00.
And then Fest Pod are on straight on after us.
Oh, that's cool. So I think we could definitely come round and watch you guys do your thing. It'll be fun to see you guys doing it live in the Courtyard stage. Yeah, it'll be good. We can have a few beers. That would be nice.
Yeah,
but yeah, it'll be cool. And I think because they moved the takeover to the Wednesday as well, it means that because historically they had it on the Thursday, which was a great slot to have, because more people are there on Thursday. But they decided to move it to the Wednesday because they were having different, performers on the stage on the Thursday, including some other, podcasts.
Yeah.
I think one of the ones is on Wednesdays We Wear Black, it's called.
Yeah, and Sappening as well.
And Sappening as well. They wanted to give them slots on the Thursday night, so we got moved to the Wednesday, and John will tell you, I almost had an absolute meltdown.
I remember because I was on that the year.
An absolute fit. I was like, no, don't do it, because my brain does this thing where it always goes to worst case scenario. And I thought, no, they're going to put us on the Wednesday. Nobody's going to come. Nobody's going to see the bands. It's going to be rubbish. The bands are all going to be playing to like 10 people and stuff like that. And it obviously didn't happen because a lot of people are still there on the Wednesday. And, we were running around in the benches outside telling people that it was there. We're going, we've got bands on the 10, we've got bands on the 10. And it ended up a really, really busy year, because that was the year that Red Method headlined. It was the first year that we came back after COVID, because we had Red Method had been selected, and then we had that 2-year break as well. See what I did there? Boom, boom. We had that 2 years off because of COVID, and then we came back, and that was the year we had the outdoor stage as well, because we couldn't get the tent because there were lots of other events happening up and down the country. We couldn't secure a tent, so we did the smaller outdoor stage, and when you looked at that audience when Red Method went on, you literally couldn't see the people at the back. It was just wall people.
Yeah.
All the way back to the big metal containers and all the way to the sides. And my son was up at the back, and he messaged me and he said, "Mum, it's like squished back here. I'm standing on a table. I can't move because there's people everywhere." And yeah, it was immense. So I mean, I think for all I was so worried about it, it was unfounded, because it's not really had that big an impact on us at all. Moving it from the Thursday to the Wednesday.
No,
but what it does mean is that I can go and do other things on the Thursday now, like the RIP quiz, and watch the bands in the courtyard, and and help Trish with the barbecue and things like that. So it was kind of a bit of a blessing in the end.
Is the pressure a little bit relieved off you then? You can just kind of get on with enjoying your weekend then, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the Wednesday and Thursday for us, for all of us, for all four of us, is quite hectic. We've got to make sure that the bands are all there. We've got to make sure the DJs are there, because we have two DJs that have been.
You defeat, say.
I know, GGs. DJs. We have two awesome. DJs. We have DJ Apocalypse and DJ Soundwave. Both very good friends of ours, who have been providing their DJ services completely free of charge to the takeover for 10 plus years. So they come back every year and they entertain the crowds. And DJ Soundwave always tries to get me drunk backstage by filling me with Jack Daniels and other substances, but we'll not talk about that. But yeah,
Coke, obviously.
Yeah,
that's the Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels and Coke, yeah, not the other type of Coke. But yeah, so it's. We've also got FestPod guys there, because the FestPod guys are they interview all the bands backstage. They do some recording for their podcast, and they work very closely with us as well. They obviously do the announcements with us on their podcast as well, which is great.
No, they're great guys. The FestPod
guys.
They're
lovely. They're so cool.
They've been lovely reaching out to us, and they've asked us to stick by and meet with them and have a chat so we can record some stuff together. So they've been really nice.
Yeah, and you can usually find them skulking around the media tent as well, because our bands can get into the media tent as well, which is another bonus. So they can go and they can talk to journalists and photographers and whoever, music industry, bigwigs and stuff, and some of them meet the bands that have been playing the main festival, and it's great to see them posting photographs with their favourite artists going, holy crap, it. But yeah, so it's another level of what they get is being part of the takeover, so that they get into that. And Facebook guys are always in there, and they always interview them and stuff as well, so just see how the weekend's going. Plus they get free tickets to the weekend, the whole festival.
No, it's a good prize.
Because we don't have funding, unfortunately, so we can't pay them. So that's how we compensate them, is we give the whole band, not just the band, but they also get tickets for their support staff, their roadies, sometimes their girlfriends. Although I take nothing to do with that. I am only authorised to approve tickets for the bands and tickets for 2 roadies. Everything else they can have an argument with Live Nation about that. But yeah, it would be the first time I'd been meeting girlfriends and stuff. And I met a dad once as well. When You're a Band played, and they brought their dad with them, and I thought that was nice. Meet the dad. So yeah, they do get a lot out of it. You know, they might not be getting cash in hand, but they're probably getting paid more than they would for a gig, you know, in London or Manchester or Leeds or wherever. Because we all know how expensive the tickets are getting for music festivals these days. And they get that access to the media tent, and
it's stuff that money can't buy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's an amazing experience for them. And I just love being part of it. I love giving them that opportunity, and you know, I'm sure John feels the same as well. It's just
absolutely, I look forward to it every single year.
Yeah, John is going to be taking part a bit more this year, though. I don't know if I've told him yet, though, because I go on stage every single year and welcome everybody and introduce each band, and then do a bit at the end where I go, "Oh, let's take over, find us on Facebook. If you're in a band, come and join us." So John's going to be helping me do that this year.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah, he's good. He's going to be front and centre. And it's great when you kind of, when we've done everything that we need to do in terms of the community, and we've finished all our work at Download, you know, we can then get to relax. And it's great when you're watching a band in the main, and somebody comes up to you and goes, your heads. You know, it's like,
I've never had that.
You know, no, you'll not get your heads. I don't think anybody would ever mistake you for me. But yeah, it's nice. It doesn't happen. I'm not getting stalked around the arena, but it does happen, and people come up and they say how amazing it was, how much they enjoyed it, how brilliant the bands were, how they've discovered a few new bands that they really love, you know. And it's nice to get that feedback from the community, you know, directly, you know, at the festival, because it really kind of it makes it worth it, knowing that not only are we doing it for the bands, but we're also entertaining the audience as well, and we're giving them a great start to their festival week. And I see mention of the takeover not just across Facebook, but on Instagram, on TikTok, on Reddit. You know, the Reddit communities have got like Download groups, and you know I only realised that this year, by the way, because I'm late to Reddit, very very late to Reddit. And I went in and I was like, I'll have a wee look at this, and there's about 5 or 6 different posts about the takeover, and they go back for years. You know, so every year somebody's been going into Reddit and posting the lineup and going, takeover lineup's up, you know, and people have been talking about it, and it's really good to see. And it kind of says what kind of reach we've got out on social media, which is fab. It's just so good to see that people are. Yeah, there are still so many people that don't know it exists.
Yeah. So if people are arriving as they're listening to this today, say they're arriving the Wednesday, what time is it all kicking off?
4 o'clock, get your arse round to that big white tent in the village. Come and say hello to me. Come and say hello to John. Come and watch the bands. Buy me a drink. Buy me a drink. Yeah.
So it's 4 o'clock till 9, isn't it?
Nobody's ever done it. Every year on the Facebook group, I drop a hint. Do you know what I mean? I drink this, I drink that. It's like, nobody ever buys me a bottle. It's really disappointing. I'm like, take the hint, somebody. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's cool. Yeah, 4 o'clock we kick off. So get in early, get your tent set up, grab a beer, get your ass round to the District X, as we now call it, or as us oldies will still call it, the village. And come and watch some absolutely outstanding bands and just have a great night.
Yeah, it's the first live music you'll get. It's it's I've not, with different things going on in my own life, I haven't been to a gig now since November. So to actually get to you know, there'll be a lot of people, I guess, that Download is their, you know, their big music holiday for the year.
The
So
holiday,
yeah, if you'll be itching to get some live music, then get to the takeover, get to the Doghouse at 4 o'clock.
Definitely. And I've not been to many gigs myself in this probably the last few years. Actually, I've been to some, but not as many as usual because of my job, because I have to travel so much for my job, and I'm always down in England all the time. So I have missed out on quite a few, but I do try and get to as many as I possibly can. But I've recently discovered a love for K-pop.
Oh wow!
I've got 3 K-pop gig lines up for this year, which is fun. But you'd be very surprised, and this is just as an aside, but you'd be absolutely amazed how many metal fans like K-pop. It astounded me, absolutely astounded me. There's a whole Facebook group for them, metalheads that like K-pop.
Well, you've got a lot of
K-pop bands.
There's thousands of them. There's loads of them go to download. Yeah, loads of them go down, and I'm like, I wonder if I could get a K-pop band on the takeover lineup.
No.
Yeah, John would never let that happen. John would never let that happen. No, it's like well, I see guilty pleasure, but it's not. There's nothing to be guilty about. What you like. But yeah, I think this is my midlife crisis. I think, you know, men buy sports cars, but I listen to K-pop. So yeah, it's fun.
Mine's
but yeah,
the podcast.
I know, but you're right. A lot of people, for me, for the longest time, you know, Download was my holiday, my annual holiday. That was the only thing I ever did. That was my week away.
Yeah.
Was Download. I didn't go on holidays elsewhere. I didn't travel abroad much. You know, that was my holiday. So yeah, I get that there's going to be a lot of people there this year that is the same case for them, especially the younger people who are maybe just starting out in their careers, and they're maybe not, you know, they've not reached that level of sort of income where they can afford a holiday and Download. It's one or the other. You know, so
right.
You know, a lot of people will use that as their holiday week, and we want to make it as amazing as possible.
Have you got any gigs in the meantime between the two? Between now, well, I'd say now because when we're recording this, it's nearly just over 3 weeks until Download. But have you got anything coming up?
I've not got anything coming up. I'm trying to think what the last gig was I was at. John, can you remember?
That you were at? Nope.
I went to see Crushed by Waves in Glasgow. I probably about a month ago or so. Crushed by Waves.
I was still ill when that was on.
And John was supposed to go, but he got sick, so he couldn't go with me. So I just went on my pod. And so the guys.
Hey.
See what I did there again? God, I need to stop doing that. But no, I can't remember if there's any. No, I definitely don't think there's any gigs coming up between now and Download. But again,
I've only got one. I'm going to see Castle Rat next Wednesday.
Oh, cool! That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's Ivory Blacks. It's some nice female-fronted doom. Can't wait.
Oh, excellent.
Who's that, John? Sorry, I missed that.
Castle Rat.
Ah, right, okay. So some good doom on the lineup this year.
There is Fetus, Windhand.
Yeah, I've enjoyed both of them.
So
this year, because Hev's set me the challenge of listening to over 300 bands, and then I've had to listen to about 150 bands for the lineup. And then I've got Slam Dunk to cover as well, so I must be on it for 600 new bands in the last few months.
I think Airborne are playing in Glasgow at the start of June. I think they're playing in.
Couldn't tell you.
I think that's I don't know. I don't think there's that many metal gigs coming up between now and Download. To be fair,
no.
I mean, there's a lot of music going on in sort of Scotland at the moment, in the north of England, but not that I can see is not many of it is the type of bands that we would sort of go and see. But yeah, quite a few lined up for the rest of the year. Going to Leeds Festival for the day on the Saturday, because want to see Bam and Tiger.
That's the Bring Me Day, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the Bring Me Day. Yeah. I'm a huge Bring Me the Horizon fan, by the way. I used to hate them, but I love them. They're like
I'm a convert, I must say.
Yeah, it was the year that they subbed main stage. It was the year Caitlin, my daughter, was quite young, and she really liked them. And she
was that 14 or was it 8?
Was it 14? Yeah,
14,
maybe 2014. Yeah,
it was 14.
And my daughter was a fan, and she said, "Come down the front and watch Bring Me the Horizon with me." And I was like, "I'm not going to watch that rubbish. That's just a screamo metal band." But I went with her because she was still quite young at the time, and I went, "Okay, fine." And I listened to the set, and I thought, actually, these guys are really good. I was like, "Oh my god!" I was actually, because at the time, Sempiternal had just come out. And obviously they had kind of changed direction in music. They'd gone from like less sort of more screamo, more sort of melodic sort of stuff, and I really liked that. So that's when I started listening to them. Yeah, and it's just kind of grown from there. No, on you go.
The very first time I ever saw Bring Me the Horizon, they opened for Killswitch Engage.
Oh wow, jeez, oh.
Wow. Yeah, I can't imagine that would be the case now. Definitely the other way around.
Oh no,
but
definitely.
They were terrible.
Yeah, well,
they were mince as well.
I've heard, I have heard stories that in their earlier days they weren't really that great, but they were very young as well, I suppose. But they've definitely
improved beyond all recognition.
Oh God, they haven't half. They're absolutely. I love them to bits. And when I saw them, the last time I saw them was in Glasgow when they did their tour. Just after I'd had my surgery, remember I was 3 weeks post hip replacement, right? And I'd bought tickets ages before, and I was taking my daughter to see them, and we had excellent seats. And I hobbled into Glasgow to see them, and they were just on another level. They were just so bloody good. So yeah, it was actually my friend who said she wanted to go and see Bam and Tiger because they're a Korean band. And I thought, yeah, well, if we're going on a Saturday, we're staying overnight on the Saturday night and coming home on a Sunday because I want to see Bring Me the Horizon. I'm not going down and not watching them because I absolutely love them. They are my top Spotify listen band every single year.
Wow.
They're absolutely amazing. I love them to bits. And I've even gone in their back catalogue and started listening to their earlier stuff, which I used to hate.
Yeah.
And which I now like. And I'm a big sort of metalcore fan as well. Aren't I, John?
Just a little bit.
I'm a huge metalcore fan. I'm an absolute diehard metalcore fan. Yeah, I love it, which is fun. But yeah, that's about us.
Yeah, I've got a stag down in Edinburgh just before Download. So that's going to cost me roughly the same amount of money as Download is.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. I've got a fairly quiet run up.
The best way.
Yep. Oops. Excuse me. I know.
But it's maybe just as well because once the Sunday comes that Hevs comes to pick me up, that's it. It just starts from there.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't really. It doesn't. Yeah, it's a whole week because like by the Monday night, by the time we get home, it's full on all the way from pretty much the Monday morning. So
yeah, it is. Yeah. And he has to contend with my dogs as well when he comes over to stay on them on a Sunday night because they absolutely love him.
They do.
So they've said they're really looking forward to seeing you again, John.
I'm looking forward to seeing them too.
Yeah, they're nuts. But yeah, it's pretty full on because it is quite a long drive down to Donington.
Yeah.
But
about 6 hours.
Yeah, it's about
6
that.
hours. Yeah.
It depends how often we stop and stuff like that, and how long we stop for. But yeah, we drive down.
There's no Caitlin this year, so there'll be less stops.
There'll be less stops because this is actually the first year ever that I've gone to Download without either my partner or one or both of my kids. And I mean, my kids are adults now; they're 28 and 26.
Caitlin's getting married, isn't she?
Yeah, she's getting married in September. Yeah, 4 months. Wedding dress cost me an arm and a leg. But yeah, this is the first year I've gone without one of or all of them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a weird experience for me. I might not, and I've always had somebody to keep me in check and keep me well behaved. So that might be a bad idea. They might never let it happen again because Lord knows what kind of trouble I'm going to get in there. Nobody to tell me no. Don't drink that too much. Don't drink that much. Don't do that. Don't go there. No, don't go down the front.
Especially me because I'll just go, I drink Marriott.
He'll just encourage me. He'll just encourage me. But yeah, because there's always somebody. I want to go down the front. And somebody's always like, no, you're a bit old to be going down the front now, Mum. No, there she are. So yeah,
Never too
it'll
old.
be fun though. It'll be
well,
fun.
so well, thanks very much for joining us. Anyway, I really,
yeah.
really do appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing you at Download,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
hopefully
Oh,
at
yeah,
the
definitely catch you there.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping to be at the meet and greet thing as well.
Yeah, good.
That's just set up, so
Oh, yeah.
that would be.
You'll
that'd be
enjoy
really
that. You'll enjoy
Yeah.
that. Yeah, because it's an
Yeah.
opportunity to speak to the people who make Download happen.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we used to get Andy Copen coming along as well. It just really depends on his schedule whether or not he can make it along. Though there's
Yeah.
been years where he's been pulled away, and John Probin, who used to work closely with Andy Copen, used to attend them a lot as well, but he's no longer there now. So
Yeah.
he's away doing other things. But yeah, you'll at least have, like, you know, Jess and a few of the other people, the really integral people that make
Yeah.
Download what it is. They'll be there, and you'll have a chance to ask them questions if you want, and they'll, you know, they're lovely, lovely people. So yeah, it's always fun to get the community to meet them.
Yeah, they really
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, they're so nice. Particularly
Oh,
Jess,
brilliant.
she's our main contact, and she helps and supports us. And the community don't realise how much that woman does for them.
Yeah.
Because she is in the background, and she's not really, you know, she's not like Trish and I or John and Eamon. You know, people don't know her, so she's like, you know, little unknown soldier. But she's lovely. You'll love her. But it'll be cool, and I can't wait to see you guys on the courtyard stage and watch your podcast thing. It's gonna be fun.
It's terrifying, but yeah, no.
Yeah, we'll be there.
We'll be
Yeah,
there. We
great.
might be on stage with you. We might get drunk and just clamber up there. How's it going? No, we won't embarrass you with that. John might buy one.
Excuse me.
No, thanks very much, both.
you're
Really,
welcome,
really,
thanks.
really do appreciate it, and thanks for giving up some of your
No,
Friday
thanks for
night.
Thanks for
Having us.
having us. It was lovely
No,
to
it's
chat to you. It's always fun to talk about Takeover and Download in general. It's not
Yeah.
long now. What, 4 weeks? 3 weeks? 4 weeks?
Just
3 weeks?
it's 3 weeks.
Essentially,
3 weeks.
yeah, 3 weeks.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Wow. It's going flying. We better get
Still got a lot of
organised, John.
better start actually
planning
checking all my stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
I need to order my butcher meat because I like to take square sausages down with me for all the English people.
You can't beat some square
They love
sausage.
them. That's great. But thanks for having us along. mate.
No,
We really
thanks very much, Hevs.
appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks a
And
lot.
All right,
see you
cheers.
We'll see you in a few weeks.
Speak to you
See you
later
in a
then.
few weeks.
Bye.
Bye.